Was founded on freedom from a country that wanted us to buy overpriced tea, then tried blockading us when we dumped their tea into the ocean. How'd that work out? Well, it's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard too. You don't need to pay $100 a month just to get a free phone.
Pure Talk, my cell phone company, says no to inflated prices. With a qualifying plan of just $45 a month, you can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Unlimited talk, text, 25 gigs of data, and mobile hotspot at a fraction of the price, all on America's most dependable 5G network.
Get your iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0 by dialing pound 250 and saying the keywords Clay and Buck. And Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make the switch. Dial pound 250, say the keywords Clay and Buck to claim your iPhone or Galaxy with qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, America's wireless company. Again, dial pound 250 and say the keywords Clay and Buck.
Mason Sexton.
Mason Sexton.
Mason Sexton.
Hi, my name is Mason Sexton, Buck's dad. Many of you may not know this, but back in the 80s, I became famous for calling Black Monday the crash of 1987. In March of 08, I called the bottom of the financial crisis. I called the top and bottom of the COVID crash. And last year, I also called the market's big rally. While Buck's Beat is covering the biggest news and political stories of the day, my beat is the stock market, and I'm damn good at it. Right now, a potentially calamitous event is on our hands in the market, and most people don't have a clue about it. That's why I just sat down with Buck for an interview to reveal what I see coming in the next 8 weeks. If you missed it, you need to watch this now. You can see it for yourself right now before February 9th for free at theprophecy25.com. That's theprophecy25.com.
Paid for by Paradigm Press.
Annual winter white sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 because with carrier rebates, the best in the business, working with the best in the business at Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air Conditioning the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 28th annual winter white sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier expert.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 3 p.m. hour is presented by First Liberty Building and Loan.
The Justice Department is being sued. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. And the plaintiffs are FBI agents who don't want their names made public.
A class action complaint asks a judge to immediately halt the Justice Department's plan to compile a list of FBI agents who participated in January 6th investigations and the classified documents case against President Trump. The agents say the DOJ request could be a precursor to mass firings. The agents who brought the suit are not identified, but instead referred to as Anonymous John and Jane Doe. Also, they were told earlier this week to fill out surveys about their involvement in the cases. President Trump has accused the FBI and Justice Department of becoming weaponized to target political enemies.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Director of National Intelligence nominee Tulsi Gabbard just clearing a hurdle with the Intel Committee, voting along party lines to send her to the full Senate. Health and Human Services nominee Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also advancing in a party line committee vote earlier today. Protests outside the Office of Personnel Management in Washington calling out Elon Musk and his moves to cut government waste.
Hey, Elon, what do you say? How many lives have you ruined today?
Union groups are suing the new Treasury Secretary over Musk's access to the department's payment systems. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calls the Musk-led efforts a hostile takeover of the federal government.
Elon Musk is hitting back at Schumer, saying, quote, he's mad that DOGE is dismantling the radical left shadow government in full view of the public. This is our one chance to return power to the people from an unelected bureaucracy back to democracy.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn on the Hill. USAID, the agency responsible for foreign aid, remains remains under review after the headquarters were shut down, a move Democrats call illegal. Sweden's prime minister calls it his country's worst mass shooting. About 10 people killed, including the gunman, at an adult education center. They're still trying to confirm a motive. America is listening to Fox News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Hey, Elon Musk, what do you say? How much taxpayer money did you save today? Seriously, that's all they got? Is to stand outside and chant like Jesse Jackson 1974 all over again? That's all the Democrats have, is to stand and chant rhymes on the street while Elon dismantles their whole leftist agenda? I love it. Pete Davis. Oh, should I say no? Pete Davis. Because if it works for Mason Sexton, it's going to work for me. He mentions his name 3 times in his ad. Did you notice, Flounder?
I did not notice.
Yeah, he does it 3 times, and that's a ploy to get that name stuck in your head, so we'll do that. The Kimmer is off again today. The Kimmer's still feeling a little poorly. He's got the flu, and he's had it for a few days now, and he's feeling better. He went to the doctor, as he calls it, the doc in the box down the street, drug himself down there to it, and hopefully had someone to take him. And the doc says Thursday at the earliest, and I'm thinking more like Friday or Monday, but we'll see, how he feels and everything. He says he's feeling a little better, but it's still taking its toll, and he's going to have his meds until Thursday. And so the main thing is for him to get better and to not basically bring contagion into you a week before your wedding, Flounder.
Well, not that, and just the office itself. I mean, if you've got a fever, you got a fever, and you don't want to get anybody else sick. So,
and he's got a fever.
He's got a fever, all right.
And he still feels weak. And he said, as he put it, it's, what he says, Monty Python used to say about Australian wine, it opens up the sluices at both ends. This is not a wine for drinking. This is for a wine for laying down and avoiding. And basically, that's anything from Australia these days. Anyway, Pete Davis in, Flounder's here as well. You're putting up with us at least a couple more days, it seems, and appreciate the chance to do this because we always have a good time doing this. And Kimmer, man, he gets sick every 4 or 5 years, so it's not like we can't put up with it for a week or so.
We did get a call yesterday from Jesse, and he said, you guys should bring up pickles today just to see what happens.
As soon as it was found out that I was doing the show Friday, one of our listeners, I think it was Kristen, immediately tweeted, does this mean another pickle show? And I said, no, today we're doing chicken pot pies, which we didn't really do either one of those. If you don't know what we're talking about, years and years ago, Kimmer got, I think it was his heart attack time. And I did a show, and someone mentioned pickles, and we started talking about sweet and dill pickles, and I got it the whole show. For 3 hours, we talked pickles, and it was like,
it was a fun show.
You never know what's going to happen with the Kimmer audience. You'll say something offhand, somebody will call in, and the whole show takes off. The number, if you want to call in and take the show in another direction to which we've worked for 6 hours to plan, 404-741-1230. That's 404-741-1230. And once again, I'm Pete Davis, and that's Flounder filling in for the Kimmer, who should be back later this week, if not Monday at the latest. We shall hope. Anyway, by the way, happy Mardi Gras. I don't know if you knew that today's Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday. Did you know that?
Today starts the festivities of that?
No, it doesn't. But my calendar said it did. So for all morning, I was planning to talk about Mardi Gras, and then I found out that the calendar was wrong. It's a month off. Fat Tuesday is until March 4th, not February 4th. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got lots to talk about today, including we got a great song to explain this government waste that's going on. And boy, is it being just completely exposed by Elon Musk. And it's absolutely wonderful. And all this talk that Chuck Todd, I don't know if you just heard from Clay and Buck, Chuck Todd basically exposing himself as the liberal libtard that he is, and all the stuff he's been saying for the last few decades has been complete propaganda for the DNC, in my opinion. He basically outed himself by just going off on Elon Musk and saying, he's un-American. This is another tactic from the left. They're calling him foreign. A foreign billionaire is taken over. And as Glenn Greenwald pointed out, he's a U.S. citizen. He's not a foreigner anymore. If he ever was, he's from South Africa. He is an American citizen. He's as American as you and I. That's how it works. Even though we were born here and he wasn't. Doesn't matter. He's a citizen. So for the left to start calling him a foreign billionaire, that's just another big lie coming down the pike there. But Chuck Todd was going off about Elon. He's un-American, and he's not even a lover of democracy. Well, who is? Only the Democrats love democracy because it's mob rule. We don't want mob rule. We have a republic, as everybody listening to this station knows. That's what we have here. So we're going to talk about the song that we got to explain the government waste. How many federal workers are taking President Trump's buyout? It's not as much as we hoped, but it's growing. Marijuana, a new study, causes you to go schizo. Now, I'm not aiming this at anybody. I'm not pointing this out. I'm just saying that one of the chief side effects from smoking marijuana every day is you start to avoid people. I'm just throwing that out there. So, anyway. NFL fans call for a boycott of the Super Bowl, and yes, it's what you think it is. The NFL is doing something racist against white people. At the same time, it's taking something away that was racist that they thought was helping black people. So it's interesting. The NFL is trying to sit on the fence and play both sides, and, some people are calling for a boycott of it. The new DNC, Democratic National Committee co-chair David Hogg, some old tweets. The internet is forever. Some old tweets of coming back to bite him in the butt. We got an update of that American woman who's catfishing all of Pakistan. This woman was a national hero, I think. She's basically doing to Pakistan what Mexicans have been doing to us for the last 4 or 5 years. Once again, it's fellow Republicans fighting against Trump. The last I heard, it looks good news. Tulsi Gabbard has cleared another hurdle. So has RFK Jr., so they're getting closer. I don't know about Kash Patel today, but the other two are getting, especially Tulsi. But it's supposedly Mitch McConnell, that dried-up husk of a senile bastard from Kentucky, who went out on the lamestream media a few days ago, was at 60 Minutes, and basically he still wants to be popular with the old media. How pathetic have you got to be to still want to be popular, to be invited to all the parties and everything? Mitch McConnell pretty much says he hasn't spoken to Trump in a long time. He still holds a grudge for them being chased through the halls of Congress, which I'm frankly all for every 30 or 40 years. I think Thomas Jefferson would agree with me. Chasing corrupt politicians through hallways is not such a bad thing to pay to be a powerful senator. But anyway, Mitch McConnell supposedly says he's going to vote against Tulsi, against Kash Patel, and against RFK Jr. Trump carried Kentucky by 31 points? So basically, Mitch McConnell is saying, in my opinion, my moneyed interests are trumping your vote. I think you Kentuckians that voted for me are stupid. You're too stupid to know what should be done. I am your Lord and Savior, Mitch McConnell, and I will tell you what to do. And even though 31% of you voted for Trump over 50%, I'm going to vote the other way anyway. I'm going to do everything I can to fight Donald Trump's agenda. And by the way, he's not alone. We got more Republicans fighting him on the budget. He needs that first budget to get through so he can start his agenda. Yeah, we need to cut spending. But the first priority is get the ball rolling and then start cutting the spending. Elon's already doing it on his side. Now we need the politicians to step up, get this budget passed, and then really start cranking down on cutting the budget, which we know the deficit needs to be cut, and it's a huge priority. But getting that first budget in so you can get the ball rolling on the Trump agenda is number one, and they haven't done it yet. So we're going to have to get on them, start calling them, because 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, we shut down the Senate phone bank. by calling these senators and telling them how they should vote. And I think it's starting to work because it's slowly, the tide is turning for the three nominees that are still up there. By the way, I think Doug Collins just breezed through. He's the head of Veterans Affairs. The Georgian has gotten through, so that's good news there. Elon Musk goes after Chuck Schumer. So does Jon Stewart of The Daily Show. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. And which Democrat, we got some great sound today. Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I believe is from New York, and AOC, who's from, of course, New York City. We're going to play their cuts, and you tell me, you be the judge, which one is dumber. Because AOC, basically just a bartender, just called a rocket scientist stupid. She says that Elon Musk is the dumbest billionaire she's ever met. The man is doing things that the government, that NASA can't do. He's literally catching rockets and holding them in midair. And that's something NASA never did. Even though they did a good job with the space shuttle for most of the landings and all that. Plus, a brand new breaking story coming down that's affecting all of us. It's not only eggs, it's Waffle House eggs. Whoa. And this just, this is Waffle House. This is serious stuff.
They make the best scrambled eggs ever.
They do, don't they? And you mix them in with the grits.
Yep.
And you crumble up the bacon in there. I'm telling you, and the little hash browns on top of that, scattered, smothered, and covered. Well, because of the bird flu, guess what? Waffle House is doing something with their eggs that, frankly, has been brought to my attention, and we're not very happy about it. Plus, we got sound from Caroline Levitt, once again tearing into USA Aid. We're going to play a sound from yesterday we didn't get a chance to play, a man pretty much pointing out, while the DNC is hiring white men again and talking about diversity, Donald Trump is your diversity-minded president in a very good way. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. We're going to take a little break here and come right back here on Extra 106.3.
The first 100 days of President Trump's second term will move fast. And with changes coming down every day, count on Atlanta's conservative voice to bring you the latest updates without the mainstream spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show. Our huge lineup has you covered from your drive in to your drive home. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and streaming across Georgia on the Extra app.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth. If they're going to make your life miserable, we all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there, napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
True Prep, Atlanta's leading preparedness store, has two incredible deals going. The Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 3 AR-15 for just $649, featuring a mid-length gas system, 15-inch M-LOK free float handguard, and 30-round P-Mag. Choose a Smith & Wesson cap or 16-ounce tumbler free with purchase. Plus, get 1,000 rounds of check-made brass case Boxer Prime 223 ammo for only $399.99 or 20-round boxes for just $8.99 each. For directions, visit us online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. True Prep. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust, and the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes. So we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with, that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all, realestateagentsitrust.com.
Love this song. It's like a comeback song for the Beach Boys. On this date in 2020, Brian Wilson, co-founder of the Beach Boys, it says right here, Beach Boys co-founder, that's what I just said, asked fans to boycott the band he helped start because of a performance at a hunting event in Nevada. He tweeted, "There's nothing you can do to stop the concert in Reno," which featured the touring group led by co-founder Mike Love. They also had Donald Trump Jr. there. Animal rights activists described the annual convention one of the world's largest gatherings for trophy hunters and a celebration of the senseless killing of hundreds of animals, which I kind of agree with Brian on that one there. But it's just a great song. Do it again. I got this on my phone. I love this song. Anyway, birthdays, February 4th. Kyla Kennedy is 22 today. She was in the show Speechless with Minnie Driver, but also she was either Mika or Micah on The Walking Dead. I don't really remember her, but I'm sure I saw her at some point.
Were you a fan of The Walking Dead? Were you a zombie fan when that whole craze happened?
I was right before Rick got killed or died or whatever. Then for some reason, after a while, you just lose interest in stuff like that. Only so much. I remember going to Manuel's Taverns on Sunday nights when it would air, and they would stop the trivia contest and watch the show. I mean, it was that big that first year. It became huge. Of course, everyone from Atlanta wanted to see because they showed all the filming around here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was all filmed here.
That scene of her riding a horse down I-20 with the city in the background and all the cars piled up and not another human in sight. That was a hell of a scene. I mean, that show shocked the crap out of everybody. But Kyla Kennedy is 22 years old, so good for her. And on this date, February 4th in 1789, George Washington unanimously elected the first president. So good for him. So that's the good news there. Let's get back to it. 404-741-1230. Pete Davis and Flounder filling in for the Kimmer, who shall be back in a few days. He's still got the flu there. And congratulations to Tulsi Gabbard, who just made it out of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Another hurdle. As the journalist Glenn Greenwald pointed out, congratulations indeed. Weathering a storm of endless lies, defamation, and character assassination, going back to Hillary Clinton's disgusting claim that she's a Russian agent in order to direct an intelligence community that has completely abused its power. Absolutely. And speaking of which, the FBI, there's 9 FBI agents that were harassing the January 6 people. They're suing to keep their names from being made public. So it's okay for them to dox people that they don't like and go after and make sure everybody knows what their names are and where they work and where they live. But the ones who do the harassing that work for the federal empire, they're suing to keep their names quiet. So once again, I hope the ones who harassed the January 6th, that locked them in holes, that didn't give them due process and all that, I hope they lose everything. I sincerely hope they lose everything. And one thing we're losing is the ability to go to Waffle House and buy good eggs. I don't know if you know this, and by the way, I have to give producer credit to the King, Tom Hughes, who posted on Facebook about this because it's high on his agenda of things to worry about. Waffle House says the yoke's on you, and an egg surcharge that you just can't beat. They're adding a temporary surcharge, they claim, on eggs after the bird flu caused price hikes for restaurants and grocery stores across the country. They got a sign out front of the Waffle House telling you it's a nationwide egg price hike, saying the continuing egg shortage caused by the bird flu, HPAI, has caused a dramatic increase. It's a difficult decision, Waffle House says. So our intrepid Extra 106.3 news staff, bet you didn't know we had one of those, answers the big questions. How many eggs does Waffle House serve?
A day?
Since 1955, the Georgia-based chain right here in Atlanta. In fact, it was Avondale Estates, had the first one, if I'm not mistaken, is estimated to have served how many? How many eggs?
Are we talking over 1 billion?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I'm going to go 2.7 billion.
Higher, 4.6 billion eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
According to the company website, in a year, the chain serves 272 million eggs every year, 153 million hash browns, 124 million waffles, 85 million strips of bacon. I would think that bacon would be higher than the rest of them, but no. 58 million cups of coffee, 10 million chicken breasts. Where are those all the jokes about it's tougher in a Waffle House steak? They don't serve a lot of steaks there, I guess not. Where do all Waffle House eggs come from? A dozen family-owned farms. The largest, Roseacre Farms in southern Indiana, provides about half of all the eggs at Waffle House, just one farm.
Every single piece of food that comes out of Waffle House is inventoried, from every strip of bacon to every cup of hash browns.
Is that why they can keep the employees from stealing?
Yeah, that's one of them. A friend of mine worked there in high school, and he was a cook, and he had told me that everything is inventoried there.
That's absolutely. I've sat there, I can't tell you how many hundreds of times, and watched the short order cook. And a lot of these people, they don't even finish school, but they're doing things that I can't do. How can you remember? They're being yelled at by 3 different women, and they're getting it all in their heads. They're not writing this stuff down.
If you actually watch, because 9 times out of 10 when I go to Waffle House, I'll sit at the bar or whatever, the counter. Yeah. And if you look at what they do to the plate, they put a particular pickle or a mayonnaise packet or a couple of hash browns. They place it on the plate. That way they can remember what that plate is for.
Please don't mention pickle again, because I don't want to start that all over. But so they have a way of doing it.
Yeah, there's a method to their madness. Next time you go there, look at the plate. When someone calls out an order, they put stuff on the plate that they're prepping. They're particular, like a pack of mayonnaise, a pickle, or a 1 or 2 hash browns.
But that's a lot of memorization.
Oh, big time, absolutely.
Like I couldn't do that job.
No.
I would not be. Women yelling at me just doesn't go over very well. People are hoarding eggs. They're saying it's like the toilet paper shortage once again. People are hoarding eggs. Now, up here, we got plenty of eggs. I don't know if it's because we're closer to the chickens than Atlanta is. I don't know. Can you get bird flu from eating chicken eggs or chicken or raw milk? Pasteurized milk products are safe, according to the FDA, allegedly. Raw milk products have been recalled because they contain the virus. Both chicken and eggs are safe to eat, and you have to cook them correctly, though. You have to cook them a long time to make sure they're fine. And according to the Mississippi Board of Animal Health, cooking both to 165 degrees Fahrenheit is recommended. Right now, I'm not recommending cooking anything in my stove because I still haven't vacuumed out the pastry that fell down from the chicken pot pie experiment from, I think, Saturday, which I finished when I got home last night. That was dinner.
Well, this asks the same old question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
It would have to be, I would say, the chicken. Because you have to have a chicken to lay the egg. I'm thinking evolutionary ladder. Wouldn't the chicken evolve first and then an egg show up? Because then a chicken comes from some other means, and then it decides to it doesn't decide, and then it starts making eggs.
Starts that process.
I don't know. And by the way, before we get started with the all serious stuff and everything going on, I want to point it out. I looked at my calendar today and it said Mardi Gras. which is French for Fat Tuesday, basically. And something in my head said, this is too early. This is too early. So I looked it up in the Encyclopedia Britannica, or just Britannica these days, just so you can get ready. Mardi Gras, celebrated all over, mainly French territories and stuff like that. Let's see. Basically, it comes from using the fats in the home before Lent and preparation for fasting and abstinence, which the Catholics do. I don't have to do that. Being a Southern Baptist, I can eat whatever I want, when I want, which is one of the reasons I remain a Southern. But let's see. New Orleans does it mainly here. And I didn't know this. The carnival season opens on 12th night, which is the Epiphany, which was January 6th. It climaxes with Mardi Gras commencing 10 days before Shrove Tuesday. So that goes, I guess, until March. So basically, if they start partying before Christmas for the Christmas season, and this explains why nothing ever gets done in New Orleans, these people are partying for 4 months of the year. There's only 12, and they're partying for 4 of them. Something else I didn't know, the Rex Parade, they have the beads of gold, green, and purple. They represent something. It represents power, faith, and justice. And, of course, they hand out the king cake, too. And if you get the little baby in the king cake, first of all, king cake is disgusting. It's dry. It may look colorful, but there's no flavor to it whatsoever. I don't know why anyone eats king cake except just to get that little baby, and you win a coin or something in there. King cake sucks. Stick with the beignets and the muffaladas is all I'm calling for. And by the way, the one time I went to Fat Tuesday, I'd never been. And I called my friend. I was at work at the radio station, and it's 8 a.m. They're talking about Fat Tuesday. And I called my friend, and he was unemployed at the time. I said, what are you doing later? He said, nothing. I said, get your stuff ready. We're going to New Orleans. We jumped in the car, and we drove to New Orleans on Fat Tuesday, got down there, and about 8 o'clock at night, and partied our butts off until like 4 in the morning. You talk about a party. If you've never been, it's really the only reason to go to New Orleans. Really, the only reason to go. It's unless you gamblers or you want to get robbed or stabbed.
Did y'all just come back afterwards, or did you stay there for a couple days?
Well, here's the thing. We get down there. We met a lot of people. We partied, and it had rained, and the streets were like kind of flooded a little bit. And these, of course, topless girls are throwing the beads down on top of us, and one lands on the street, and my friend reaches down to pick it up, and this woman comes out of nowhere, slaps it out of his hand, and says, you don't ever pick up anything on the street here. Evan, she was a New Orleans resident. She goes, don't ever pick up anything on the street here, which makes sense.
I would agree with that.
So then we're deciding we're too drunk to drive home. We're too drunk. We didn't have a hotel room. We just went down to a hotel room. We stumble over to Tulane, and there's a huge Holiday Inn there. Go in there, and the whole place, the whole lobby's full of all these drunks passed out in the lobby on everything. And as a lark, I go up to the counter, and this is like 4 a.m. I said, you don't have a room, do you? He goes, yeah, we got a room. Because what people don't remember, people cancel all the time. They don't show up for the reservations. They get too drunk. They don't show up to the room. And at some point, the hotel says, screw it. We're going to, give it to somebody else. We had a great deluxe room, and we went up there. The first thing we did was take our shoes off and washed them in the bathtub. It didn't help. We got home. I was sick as a dog by the time I got home. It's because it's filthy. It's a filthy city. But we slept. So always, and we did the same thing at New Year's Eve in New York City. When you go up there, always wander into the hotel and ask if they have a room, because they always do. Because too many, the guy at New York pointed around to the lobby and says, these idiots are too drunk to come up and get their room. So you can have it. So we had another great room while we were up there. But anyway, if you go down there, it's a great party. Just don't go too far east on Bourbon Street. Because the further we went down, and neither of us had ever been to New Orleans before, we got down to the farther end of Bourbon Street, and I looked around, and my friend goes, where are all the women? The women were gone. This was a different part of Bourbon Street. And people were in various modes of undress. And we quickly headed back west toward Canal. So just a little word of warning. But it's a great, in fact, the Absinthe House, the old Absinthe House.
I've been there.
Is a wonderful bar. Wonderful bar. I've said it before. I sat there with Jeff Van Note shooting the breeze one day. And in walks his friend, the great Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame. God, I'm having a blank. What's his name? Paul Hornung. Paul Hornung come in to listen. Him and Jeff Note tell stories was just one of the highlights of the Falcons trips. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Falcons, the Super Bowl boycott. Should you boycott because of what the NFL is doing with the Black National Anthem? And should Trump, who's going, should he stand up or sit down? We'll be right back on Extra 106.3. The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home. I have it on good authority that Flounder and Veronica thought long and hard for about 15 seconds to have you officiate.
I could have done
20.
I could have done it. If the guy backs out, I can still do it.
It'll be our backup.
You'll have two backups there.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
By the way, just a great example of something I had to find the other day. In fact, it was last night. And I luckily could find it because I am a proud customer of Atlanta Safe House. And, of course, I have always been for decades. But when I retired, went down to Florida, I didn't have my Atlanta Safe House safes down there. And I lost my medical records. And the VA told me to pounce and stuff like that. Whatever. Anyway, again, that was my fault because I didn't think I needed a safe when I went down there. And I was an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Don't be like the Kimmer. Be like the good part of the Kimmer. They have the brands like Browning and American Security and Fort Knox, and these babies are always either on sale or also with rebates. I mean, it's incredible. And again, the gun safes, those big gun safes, that bolt them from the inside to your concrete basement floor or garage, whatever, like they did mine. And again, they put nooks and crannies and shelving units any way you want to store what stuff you're looking for in there. The pistol safes, these are beautiful, by the way. Lots of different brands and styles and types. And these are real safes. These aren't you can't go to like the pharmacy and get those little plastic boxes with a little teeny key. That really doesn't work. And by the way, Jeff and Mark and the whole gang at Atlanta Safe House never violate your right. They'll protect your rights like they protect your stuff. Nobody's getting your master reset code just because they're asking for it, like somebody's tried to pull the fast one on other people. No. Not Atlanta Safe House. They have a showroom in Ackworth on Industrial Boulevard. Very happy to help you. Stop in, take a selfie, and tell them the Kimmer sent you. On the web, check out what they can do for you. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers, here to remind you that Valentine's Day is coming quickly. Are you prepared? If you are looking for the perfect gift this year, come see us at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. We've got the perfect Valentine's Day gifts like beautiful diamond tennis bracelets or diamond stud earrings for 40% off. That's right, you can give the gift of timeless beauty and elegance with a pair of diamond stud earrings or a sparkling tennis bracelet for 40% off. And to make this year even more special, we are giving away a free gold rose with any purchase over $4.99. So say I love you this year with a gift that never goes out of style. Diamonds from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Come see us at any of our 3 showrooms, find that perfect tennis bracelet or diamond stud earrings, and get a free gold rose with any purchase over $4.99. Solomon Brothers on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and Fisher Crossing Drive in Sharpsburg. Online at SolomonBrothers.com or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turfco to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turfco was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turfco to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Oh, the dulcet tones of Black Sabbath. On this date, 2017, the band credited with inventing heavy metal music played their last concert. A 2-hour gig at some arena in their home city of Birmingham, England, saw the rock veterans play 15 songs, ending with their first hit, Paranoid. Ticker tape and balloons fell as singer Ozzy Osbourne, who was 68 at the time, thanked fans for nearly 5 decades of support. Sabbath's The End tour began in the U.S. in January last year. The year before, 2016, took 81 dates across the world. And literally, the band took 81 dates with them all around the world. Birthdays on February 4th. Hannibal Buress is 42. If that name sounds familiar, it's not the one who crossed the Alps and attacked Rome. No, it's the comedian who was most famous for destroying everybody's perception of Bill Cosby and Puddin' Pops and how you use them. And also on this date, February 4th, in 1826, The Last of the Mohicans was published. I had no idea it was that old, 1826. The Western frontier was upstate New York and Ohio at that point. I mean, come on. Let's see, a great movie, by the way, a few years ago. Michael Mann did it with Daniel Day-Lewis. I love that movie, especially the ending. The ending's great. And the music, the soundtrack, that's one of my favorite soundtracks. I actually have it somewhere. But if you ever get a chance to see that movie, it'll make you proud to be an American. It really is. It shows you why one of the reasons we fought and had the Revolutionary War, even though it's set before the Revolutionary War. But it's a very interesting book and a very interesting movie. Some say the movie didn't follow the book too closely. Before we get into talk about the NFL here, I wanted to play you a song by a gentleman named Tim Hawkins. This came out a few years ago, but I saw it again last night. This guy perfectly explains what Elon Musk is doing and what he's trying to do. Here's Tim Hawkins.
Who can take your money? Who can take your money? With a twinkle in their eye. A twinkle in their eye. Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government. The government can. The government can. And who can tax the sunrise? Who can tax the trees? Who can tax the trees? Let you run a business and collect up all the fees. The government. The government can. The government can. And the government can, 'cause they mix it up with lies and make it all taste good. Make it all taste good. The government takes everything we make to pay for all of their solutions. Like healthcare, climate change, pollution. Just throw away the Constitution. I wrote that, thank you. And who can give a bailout? Tell us to behave. Tell us to behave. And make the founding fathers roll over in their grave. I don't care if you hate me. I'm going to sing it anyway. Oh, the government can. The government can. And the government can go and mix it up with lies and make it all yummy, 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 yummy. The government takes everything. They're all power hungry and malicious. Their economics are fictitious. Soon we'll have to eat our dishes. Yeah. Delicious. And who can be a failure? Who can be a failure? In so many ways. In so many ways. And And instead of getting fired, hey, we'll give ourselves a raise. California, you know what I'm talking about. Government can. And the government can close to mix it up and line with the don't take good. And the other side can mix it to line. Get down! Get down!
Get to the chopper. That's good, Arnold. And before that, Sammy Davis Jr. he threw in there. Tim Hawkins did that, gosh, what was it, 2011?
I think it was 2012, 2013, maybe.
And it still works. It still works. Anyway, NFL fans are calling for a Super Bowl boycott. Some NFL fans, good luck with this, over the Black National Anthem, as it's called. I don't think I've ever heard the whole thing the whole way through, to tell you the truth. NFL fans calling for the boycott. The game is this weekend, Sunday in New Orleans. The song is called Lift Every Voice and Sing. Traditionally sung during the pregame festivities at the NFL's end-of-season showpiece. It's a huge controversy right now, especially recent years. The league has confirmed that Grammy Award-winning singer Ledisi, is I'm pronouncing that correctly? Of course, Grammy Award-winning doesn't mean anything these years unless you got clothes on. She's going to perform the song in front of President Donald Trump. That's right. He will be the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl. That's amazing that Nixon never tried to do it, as big a football fan as he was. Let's see. It's going to be sung right before the real national anthem. So, of course, social media is going nuts about this. Some saying, I will not be watching the game because of a black national anthem, as if we needed another reason to not watch this damn game. Another added, no other sports league tries to force a black national anthem down people's throats. I haven't watched football ever since they started disrespecting the national anthem, and there's no such thing as a black national anthem. Trump confirming today he is going to the game. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. So how should President Trump respond? Should he stand up, hand over heart? Should he sing along? Should he stay sitting? Because the last time they tried something like this, Kari Lake from Arizona, she sat. And caught a lot of flack for it on social media, and I don't think she cared about it. It's going to be interesting to see how he responds. If you want to tell us how you think, 404-741-1230. Should he stand or should he keep sitting? Now, I want you to play a sound here. This is for the Jasmine sound. You know her. I think she's cutting. Yeah, you got it? Okay. This Jasmine Crockett is a representative, I believe, from New York City. She is right now in a competition with AOC to see who's the dumbest representative on the left. Jasmine was appearing on some show. I don't know if it was CNN or whatever last night.
CNN.
CNN? She was defending DEI. And she said some pretty racist stuff on here. So let's play a little bit of Jasmine.
That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education.
Okay, let's take this bit by bit here. First of all, her seat is almost all the people who voted are almost all black. So it wasn't like a white person could go in there and have a chance to win her seat. Second of all, this talk about working 10 times as hard. Who is making you work 10 times as hard? If you're from an inner city, most inner cities are run by Democrats, mostly African-American Democrats. So if anyone's making you work 10 times harder, for education or a job or anything, that's your fellow Democrats doing it to you. That's not mediocre white people doing it. That's another thing. If you had a white person saying he's tired of mediocre black women, he'd be booted out of Congress because that's racist. Why is it not racist when she does it? All this talk about how white people, mediocre white boys were beaten out. They weren't beaten out, Jasmine. They were passed over. Because as soon as their resumes, the little check mark showed Caucasian or white, they were thrown out. And anyone else who didn't have Caucasian or white was passed over him and passed over them. And let's talk. And she has to go back, and she used the word historically. They've gone after us like this. Historically, this is 2025. Stuff like that happens in the past. If that's happening now, I want names, because guess what? If someone's doing that to a black person today, if you're saying you can't have this job, you can't go to this school because you're black, that's on the local news, and then it's on the national news. It's an internet sensation overnight. And I told you yesterday about what my previous experience has been of being passed over twice for unqualified black women on two different situations. So in my experience, it's exactly the opposite. So don't tell me you got to work 10 times harder. I'm calling bull crap on that. And you didn't have to worry about getting elected where you were, because most of the people are voting are black anyway. So no white person had a chance to go up against you. But saying that she's tired of the tears of mediocre white boys, if you just switch the same things around, it's absolutely outrageous. And she should be drummed out of Congress. And I don't know why Mike Johnson, whatever his name is, the guy who's running the House of Representatives, is putting up with it. I don't know why he's got put up with something like this. When we come back, we're also going to be playing AOC and the stupid thing she says. And you can tell me which one is dumber, Jasmine Crockett, because AOC is calling Elon stupid. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. We'll be right back in just a second.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 3 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffers from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. We provide testosterone replacement therapy, the P-shot, and treatment for ED, PE, and Peyronie's disease. There's not just one therapy that can solve these complex issues. When you visit our clinic, you're going to see me. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. 404-777-1911. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. 404-777-1911. Online at tbtofga.com.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855 GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Oh, yeah. Earth, Wind, and Fire. 2016, Maurice White, singer, songwriter, musician, record producer, arranger, and band leader of Earth, Wind, and Fire, passed away. Number one single, Shining Star, in 1975. Also, Let's Groove, several others. The greatest hits, wonderful album. Won 20 Grammys. Worked with Barbara Streisand and Neil Diamond. Maurice White, dead on this day.
Did you say 20?
I say 20? Let me see what I said. I said 20 Grammys.
That's almost as much as Beyonce.
I know, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Megyn Kelly went off, and so did John Rich, about the fact that she's got 33-something Grammys. Please, come on. Happy birthday, February 4th, to Lauren Ash, who is 42. She was Dina or Dinah, the amazing assistant on Superstore. Never saw it. I know you are a huge fan of that NBC show Superstore. Were you not? A big Walmart comedy there?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Really? Yeah, I never saw it either. And Cameron is 49, urban troubadour. He was shot in both arms during what was supposedly an attempted carjacking. He refused to talk to the cops about it because real players don't snitch.
How do you say that?
I think he said that. I think that's the actual quote. Real players don't snitch. And in 1938, on this day, February 4th, Disney released Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which they basically tried to kill last year with that woke actress. Couple breaking news before we get back to what I was talking about. A correction, Jasmine Crockett is from Texas. She is not from New York. Thank you for whoever corrected us on that. And my apologies to the great people of the state of New York for besmirching their good name.
That was Gary on YouTube who let us know that.
Gary, thank you very much, Gary. And the embattled New Jersey governor, Phil Murphy, who just yesterday bragged, saying, ICE, come get me. I have an illegal immigrant that lives in my attic. You know, I'm sorry. That's probably free labor is why he had it up there. I think he should be investigated for having that poor woman clean his house for him or other things, shall we say. Phil Murphy, they're calling for him to be impeached or resign after he suggested. Now, he's saying he was misinterpreted today. And as Clan Buck said, he speaks English, doesn't he? I think we understood what he said. He basically dared ICE agents to pay him a visit. Quote, pay him a visit, end quote. And now he's backtracked and said, oh, no, I don't have anyone up here. What are you talking about? Never seen anybody up here. So, and of course, Tom Homan said last night, and of course, Tom Homan's in charge of getting rid of the illegal aliens. He basically says, well, maybe it's time to pay a visit to the governor, the good governor of New Jersey. All right, Elon Musk is dunking on Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, declaring hysterical reactions demonstrate how important Doge's work is going on. Musk says we're never going to get another chance like this, and he's absolutely correct. Elon declared in a social media post that hysterical reactions demonstrate the importance, saying the comment in response to Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, an unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. That's what Schumer's saying. So Musk described his effort to slash government waste and bureaucracy as a one-time opportunity. Hysterical reactions like this is how you know that we're doing the work. This is the one shot the American people have to defeat bureaucracy, rule of the bureaucrats, and restore democracy, rule of the people. We're never going to get another chance like this. It's now or never. Your support is crucial to the success of the revolution of the people. I like when he uses that term. If the Treasury Secretary does not remove Doge's access to the Treasury payment systems at once, according to Schumer, Congress must immediately act. So basically, the Democrats are upset that he's found the purse strings. And that's why haven't had anything happen to the Biden crime family, because they haven't been able to get to the bankers or the banking records. Well, Doge immediately found. And here's another thing. Doge is using young, basically teenage, college-age boys to do this. Some of them, they say, are on the autistic spectrum. One said that he loves reading about the Roman Empire. He loves numbers. These kids, basically, if they weren't designed, they were born to do this. They love crunching the numbers. They love finding things that are wrong. They love correcting mistakes. And this is the biggest mistake in the world. This is the largest money laundering scheme in the history of mankind, Ukraine being part of it as well. It's absolutely amazing. If you're looking for who's running the Democratic Party right now, by the way, it's Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They're the ones that keep trotting out there. Of course, Jon Stewart of The Daily Show goes, please stop putting Chuck Schumer out there. He's just not photogenic. He holds up an avocado and a Corona beer. And he goes, that's your reaction to the trade war? Is that you're telling us your avocados and Corona beer is going too expensive for the Super Bowl? And Jon Stewart just went off on him. Musk says Doge has not looked at, nor is there any interest in private financial data. What will we even do with it? The outgoing payment review process just looks at potential fraud and wasteful spending to organizations, the NGOs. Corrupt politicians are the ones complaining. I wonder why. Speaking of which, Ilhan the Ingrate, I love that term, Ilhan Omar, who was screaming and hollering about this, saying, here's what she was telling last night, I think on CNN, that the American people shouldn't worry about the money being spent because it's only billions of dollars, and that's just a drop in the bucket. Once again, the analogy is you only have 0.07% of cancer in you, but it's such a slow percentage of your whole body. Why should you even deal with it? Basically, the Democrats are saying, yeah, there's corruption here, and the money's going to the wrong places, but it's just a little bit. It's just a few billion. Schumer says Musk and Doge were not elected. Neither were the bureaucrats. And I've said this before. This is my father, who worked for the federal government for most of his life. Says in the 1970s, he told me this when I was a kid. He says it really doesn't matter at this point. And that was when Nixon was in, who the president is, because the bureaucrats are so deep up there. They're so entrenched. They just wait them out. 8 years is nothing to them. They'll just slow walk everything or completely ignore it. And by the time they get in trouble for it, the president's out of office. And he told me and warned me about that in the 70s. Imagine how it's metastasized and how bad it is right now.
Well, some quick breaking news, Pete, is the FBI just revealed that 5,000 out of their 13,000 agents were all focused on January 6 protesters.
In fact, I think you bring that up because I had it here and I forgot to mention it. It's something like 39% of the entire
FBI.
Federal Bureau of Investigation was on one case, and that was the people walking through the velvet ropes.
As police were escorting them.
Escorting them in. A few damaged stuff, a few stole stuff, and fine. You put them in jail and you deal with them. But you don't put them in jail for 4 years for takings. That's ridiculous. And you don't throw them in a hole where they can't see their lawyers or the family or the media or anything like that. That's what the British do. And we'll talk a little about that tomorrow, what they've done. FBI revealing 5,000 of 13,000 agents focused on just January 6th protesters. Almost 40% of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not against terrorism, but against January 6th. I got to wonder, what is the percentage? I want to know what the percentage was for going after Catholics and putting them on the domestic terror list, which the leader, the head of the FBI at the time, lied about. And we got the forms that prove that was lies. How about how many FBI agents were going after the parents who decided to show up at the school board meetings and dare question the Democrats running the school boards, which is why you should be up there making sure you know what they're doing to your kids. And the parents who did decide to show up and ask questions were put on domestic terrorism lists and looked upon like that by the FBI and harassed. They went to their houses in front of their kids and harassed these parents and everything. Absolutely ridiculous. In wokeness, breaking that, FBI revealing 5,000 of 13,000 January 6th alone, 39% of them. Now you wonder why we're having so many terrorist attacks. And they're not catching these school shooters even though they were on our radar. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. We'll be back for the Kimmer in a few minutes.
TV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
An executive order on Iran. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump signing a return to the maximum pressure campaign on Iran from his first administration.
So this is one that I'm torn about. Everybody wants me to sign it. I'll do that. It's very tough on Iran.
He says Iran is too close to having a nuclear weapon and cannot have a nuclear weapon.
We will see whether or not we can arrange or work out a deal with Iran. And everybody can live together, and maybe that's possible, and maybe it's not possible.
Also just telling reporters that if Iran assassinates him, he's left instructions for them to be obliterated and that there wouldn't be anything left. The Justice Department has said an Iranian plot to kill President Trump before the election was thwarted, but the suspect remains at large in Iran. Just before meeting with Israel's prime minister, President Trump says Gaza is uninhabitable and that he'd like to see neighboring countries, Jordan and Egypt, take displaced Palestinians. Democrats on Capitol Hill are sounding the alarm over the ongoing Trump shakeup of the federal government.
The last several days, we've witnessed an authoritarian takeover of our federal government by Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They have set their sights on a full purge of anyone in government that doesn't bend the knee and follow their orders.
Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has two committees vote along party lines to send controversial Trump nominees to the full Senate. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead Health and Human Services and Tulsi Gabbard to be Director of National Intelligence. Kansas Republican Senator Roger Marshall just telling Fox News.
This feels like I'm in a barroom brawl right now with President Trump and these Democrats, and guess who's really good at barroom brawls, and that's President Trump. We've got him on the run.
The Democrats say they'll try to hold some nominations for as long as possible. Just getting word, all 67 bodies have now been recovered from last week's midair collision in D.C. The Dow up 134 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Kimmer Show. Kimmer's still got the flu. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder, filling in. On this date in 2016, February 4th, Van Morrison described becoming a sir as amazing and exhilarating. Got his knighthood from the Prince of Wales at Winker at Buckingham Palace. Got his... There he is. There's Van. That's good advice. Don't go to New Orleans. Got his knighthood for services to the music industry and tourism in Northern Ireland, which is where he's from, like Rory McIlroy. Happy birthday, February 4th, to Natalie Imbruglia. She's 50 years old, Australian singer. The song Torn here. I'm torn because I have no idea about that song. I don't know much about Natalie. I've heard of her, but I don't know much about her. And Oscar De La Hoya, the boxer and stylish dresser, according to Flounder's friend here from London, 52 years old. And on this date, February 4th, in 1945, President Franklin Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill met sadistic Russian dictator Joseph Stalin at a wartime conference in Yalta. And that's a famous photo of FDR having the cloak around him, and he looks tired and frail. And he didn't have much longer to live. I think he passed away, April? I think he passed away in April And the war ended right after that or just before that. But he didn't get to see the in fact, when Hitler found out FDR had died, he thought he was having a reversal of fortune and the Germans were going to come back. And obviously that was not going to happen. A couple of breaking news here to come over. Greg Price reporting Ilhan Omar, the ingrate, representative from Minnesota, is hosting workshops for Somalians living in the country illegally to advise them how to avoid being deported. Elon Musk has just pointed out that is illegal. So, like the New Jersey governor should be visited by ICE, I think she should be visited as well. And President Trump has just come out and said something interesting, which I think they talked about a little bit there in the news. President Trump says if Iran were to assassinate him, they would be absolutely obliterated. Quote, if they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. There wouldn't be anything left, end quote. Now, from what I understand, a lot of the Iranian people are fed up with the mullahs. A lot of them want to return to the Shah or a monarchy or something like that, or maybe a republic or democracy. If you see photos of Iranians walking at the beach down the street, and same with Beirut in Lebanon in the 1970s, it was like you're looking at Santa Monica. It was like you're looking at the downtown Cleveland, downtown Atlanta. Except they all have dark hair and beautiful dark eyes, and it's just, much better looking than a lot of the places in America. But still, a lot of the Iranians are upset with, and they want to return to that. And if you look at those old photos, man, that was in my lifetime. That wasn't that too long ago that Iran was part of the civilized world. Because Persia goes way back, and they're calling themselves Persians now. They don't even really want to be called Iranians. They have a long culture that goes way, way back. Speaking of way back, AOC has been with us a few years now. She's still attractive. Yes, that would still be a yes on the check mark. But she has just said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. AOC nutting up about Elon Musk, and I'll just let you be the judge. Here we go.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed. Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV. Anyways, all of that is to say is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart. And the danger in the lack of intelligence and the lack of expertise that Elon has. I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we really know of. But the point is that what that means is that they're going to hit a button. Inevitably, they are going to hit a button and things can go sideways.
Sideways.
Not a button, a button. Basically, she's trying to put it in people's heads that they're going to hit the nuclear button and kill us all. That's the same stuff they were talking about Reagan back in the 80s when I was much younger. That's one of the dumbest that woman and Jasmine Crockett are making laws that you and I have to live under. That's how stupid she is. She the bartender just called the rocket scientist stupid. She sounds like a 14-year-old. She sounds like a 14-year-old Valley girl at the Sherman Oaks Galleria trying to explain how the government's supposed to work. The Democrats are in arms over this.
And she drives a Tesla.
And she has a Tesla?
Yep. I know she did have a Tesla. I don't know if she sold it when Elon bought Twitter and she got all upset, but she was a Tesla owner at some point.
It's just astounding to me that she would be calling him out. And the Democrats are worked up about avocados and Corona beer. I'm sure the Corona beer hits hard with her. And they're mad because he's exposing corruption. He's not going after ordinary citizens. He's not going after things that are feeding people. Or giving them clean water. He's going after corruption. This has been used as a bank by the left for money laundering for overseas, and here in America, the NGOs using these organizations to subvert countries overseas they don't like and to try and pass legislation here. We got a phone call, you say?
Yes, the one and only Mr. Bill Sheehan.
Mr. Sheehan joins us. Hello, Bill. How you doing?
I'm fine, Pete. How are you, sir?
Just ducky.
You still with me?
I'm still with you there. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay. Yeah, Pete, I'm good. I just listened to AOC, tell the most wealthy man in the world who puts rockets into space and puts electric cars on the street, tell us how stupid he is. I don't understand that. Explain that, please.
I can't. How's she in Congress? How does she keep winning?
Yeah, indeed. How do any of these people? How does Chuck Schumer, who is just as dumb as a sack of rocks, how does he keep getting back in office? Does he just give out money? I don't understand.
Term limits. We need term limits. I think the Founding Fathers would agree because it's too hard to kick the entrenched like the McConnells and the Schumers and the Pelosi's. It's too hard to kick them out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, listen, you guys have been doing a great yeoman's job in the last few days, and we appreciate your time and energy, and God bless Kim. Hope he gets better soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate that, man. Masters is coming up. I'm going to think of you every time Masters comes up every year. I'm going to think of you. That man toured me around Augusta National. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, if someone wants to put some prayers out for Kimmer to feel better, he is feeling better. Went to the doc in the box and says that the doc says Thursday at the earliest for you coming back to work. So we have one more day of us, the good Lord willing, on this. I don't know if we have full time. Get into this a little bit. David Hogg. You know this guy, the anti-gun nut and all this stuff, who probably wasn't even there in the high school. According to the other high school kids, he wasn't even there when the shooting was happening or wasn't where he claimed to be.
Yeah, he was in a different building than where the shooting took place, but he claimed that he was.
Well, he's built quite the grift out of this. He is the Stacey Abrams of the gun movement. Newly elected DNC Chairman, Vice Chair David Hogg, 24-year-old gun control activist, emerging voice in the Democratic Party, they're calling him. DNC's first Gen Z Vice Chair has the digital footprint to prove it. And I'm going to read you, coming up after the break, some of the best tweets you will ever hear from a guy leading the DNC. By the way, he's white. The chairman, Tom something from Minnesota, is also white, but they're the party of diversity and multiculturalism. Do we have time to play that gentleman who talks about Trump's diversity?
Yes, we do.
Number 2, I believe there. Didn't get a chance to play him yesterday. This gentleman sums up what Donald Trump is doing as opposed to Democrats who just talk about it.
So Kash Patel is about to be the first Indian to ever head the FBI. He's also the son of immigrant parents. Marco Rubio is the first Latin Secretary of State, also son of immigrant parents. Susie Wiles is the first female chief of staff. Scott Besnet, who is an openly gay man, is now Secretary of the Treasury. Not sure if that ever happened before. Kristi Noem is actually the second woman to be Secretary of Homeland Security. Richard Grenell, the envoy who just brought back 6 American hostages from Venezuela, is openly gay. Tulsi Gabbard could be the second woman to be head of national intelligence. Oh, and she's of Samoan descent. So is this a DEI or is this merit-based? Does this look racist and sexist to you, or is it just a true reflection of America, our values, and how far we've come? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Judge people by their actions, not what they say. That's true diversity because it's the melting pot of America. And that's when it is our strength, when you do it like that, merit-based. I'm Pete Davis, that's Flounder. We'll be right back on Extra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
So am I reading all of this the wrong way? I'm talking about Donald Trump, Mexico, and Canada. It seems to me that Donald has had quite a few successes in recent days, but for some reason isn't really getting credit for it. Canada and Mexico. Trump announced that he was going to institute a 25% tariff on all imports from Canada and Mexico. Why? Because they weren't doing enough to stop the flow of illegal aliens and drugs across the borders. Almost unanimously, the Democrat media started talking about what a terrible thing this was going to be for American consumers. Cars were going to cost $3,000 more, not used cars. You're going to pay more for this, you're going to pay more for that. It's going to cost the average American family over $800 just because of Trump and his tariffs. But then what happened? Mexico, we're going to send troops to the border to stem the flow of illegals into the United States, and we're going to crack down on the drugs as well. Canada, same thing. We're going to enhance our border security and crack down on drugs, especially fentanyl. Now, this to me looked like a victory for Trump. The New York Post presented it that way, but virtually no other media outlet did. And why not? Because they just can't bring themselves to report that Donald Trump is actually having successes. It upsets their Democrat handlers. It's like they have a rule. Thou shalt not say anything positive about the presidency of Donald Trump. I wonder how many more successes he and Republicans could have if the media wasn't dead set on serving the interests of the Democrat Party. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
Camera here. Yeah, it's true. I'm smiling as I make an appointment to go back to Dr. Dina Giesler, my dentist. It's called Atlanta Smiles. And it's true, I'm smiling before, and I always smile afterwards. I get the biggest kick out of talking about these people. Again, there's a guy there, too, a doctor, dentist. But it's mostly women. It's Kimmer babes, and they're just the happiest doctor assistant people. They're like nurses who just, they can't do enough for you to make sure you're happy and healthy and doing the right thing. I mean, they're so nurturing. It makes me feel good. I'm sorry, it's stupid, I know, but what the heck? They're a dentist people. Anyway, Atlanta Smiles, that's the name of the way, atlantasmiles.com. Don't forget, by the way, veterans get 10% discount right off the top. Just tell them when you call in. I'll give you the number here in a second. Dr. Dina was a Navy officer dentist, a 1% of the top-ranked master dentists. Only 1% can say that. That is she. Anyway, whether you're looking for cleaning or bridges and crowns and taking care of the gums and teeth, they last as long as you do and stuff like that. Don't forget, I make a biggest kick out of getting the doggy. She has a little puppy there, and that little dog, you'll sit right there in your lap and take a nap and lick your finger while you're having your dental work done. It makes you feel good all over. You'll love the place. Call them 404-262-7733. On the web, atlantasmiles.com.
Yellow Jacket fans, don't miss your chance to lock in your seat for the 2025 football season today. Next year's home slate is highlighted by the renewal of our rivalry with Clemson, as well as ACC matchup versus Pitt, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech. Into the end zone! Touchdown! Haynes King! All hail the King! Support head coach Brent Key and the Jackets on game day by visiting RamblingWreck.com/tickets to get your season tickets today. Sting 'em.
Go beyond a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans never have seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Fans will also have access to the Braves Clubhouse starting February 17th through March 22nd. And did you know Truist Park also offers the opportunity to host birthday parties? The birthday package includes a private tour of the ballpark, birthday invitation template, special gift for the birthday child, and goodie bags for all the kids. Upgrades like a visit from the Braves mascot blooper are also available. Visit Braves.com/tours to book a tour or a birthday party today.
It was on this date in 2009. Robert Plant said he felt Led Zeppelin could never reunite for a full tour because the band feels incomplete without drummer John Bonham. Says the reason it stopped is because we were not complete for 29 years. I think the thing about it is really to visit that old ground. It's a very incredibly delicate thing to do, and the disappointment that could be there once you commit to that, and the comparisons to something that was basically fired up by youth and a different kind of exuberance. Very hard to go back and meet that head on and do it justice. That and the fact that his voice is shot. That is not the Robert Plant at 20 years old. His voice, he's still got a good voice, but it's different. It's
he can't hit the high notes. Same with if you listen to Elton John. He's still got a great voice, but he just doesn't hit the high notes like he did in the early 60s or early 70s.
Your voice changes. I've noticed my voice changes. It's not as strong or as deep as it used to be. You got to strain sometimes, because especially when you don't talk for 3 hours a day for several months at a time. But still, not complaining. Enjoy filling in for the Kimmer. Appreciate him letting me do it. Kimmer, we're hoping he'll be back later on this week, if not Monday, because he's feeling a little better. But the doctor says Thursday at the earliest, and even then, that's probably a little iffy there. You talk about John Bonham. The Who made the different decision after Keith Moon passed away, and they'd had trouble with him for a year or two before then, where he was missing stuff and his drinking was so out of control that they were kind of ready for maybe a replacement if something did happen, even though it was a shock when Keith Moon died. And then they brought in Kenny Jones, who was with Faces or Small Faces. Very good drummer, but they didn't end up getting along with him because he just wasn't Moon or Mooney or whatever. There was supposed to be a movie about Keith Moon coming out. I haven't seen it. I don't know who was supposed to do it. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. We're filling in for the Kimmer. Breaking news here. Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says December of 2024, which was 1 month after Donald Trump was elected again, the United States Army had its best recruiting number in 12 years.
Boom.
Now, I've been telling people the last 4 years, don't join the military, because they were training them to turn their guns on us. In January of this year, just last month, the Army hit its best recruiting number in 15 years. Bottom line, America's youth want to serve under the bold and strong America First leadership of real Donald Trump. And he's absolutely correct with that. Let's see, what else do we have here on the old sheet? Happy birthday to Rob Corddry. He's 54, February 4th. Daily Show correspondent, I wouldn't know. Hot Tub Time Machine sex tape, HBO's Ballers. Okay, whatever. And Gabrielle Anwar, 55 years old. She was in The Tudors, but you know her as Fiona, the explosives expert on Burn Notice. Very underrated show, syndicated show.
Yeah, it was on USA for a while. I watched that. It was a good show.
And it was the guy, Bruce Campbell, from Army of Darkness and all those other Evil Dead stuff, who's always fun. I tell you, that Briscoe, the Adventures of Briscoe County, that Western he did for 1 year, very, very funny show, but I think it only lasted 1 year. Also on this date, 1977, American Bandstand celebrated its 25th anniversary, an all-star band made up of Chuck Berry, and according to Flounder's friend here, real stars like Seals and Crofts, Chuck Mangione, and 3/4 of Booker T and the MGs. 3/4 of them showed up. Holy cow.
All right, real quick. The 4 p.m. hour is brought to you by Atlanta Safe House. You need a safe, you just don't know it. Learn more at atlantasafehouse.com.
Okay, I've been teasing you the David Hogg thing, and this is what we got going here. He's the new coach here at the DNC. He's 24 years old, and because he's Gen Z, you're Gen Z, aren't you, or are you Gen X?
I'm Gen X.
You're, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I just made it.
But you probably have a digital imprint, and so does he on social media. In 2022, just 3 short years ago, David rallied around several left-wing positions, including legalizing all drugs and supporting a 100% tax after you make your first $1 billion. Okay, I haven't hit that yet, but I'm trying. How radical is he? He says, I don't think anybody should have over $1 billion in assets. There should be 100% tax after your first $1 billion. I think we need to do what Australia did in regards to guns. They took all the guns. We need universal health care, free college for all, and legalize all drugs. Free college. Not everybody should go to college. As you know, if you went to college and looked around, Most of the professors shouldn't have been there either. He also said he would prefer, and this is a little embarrassing for me, he would prefer to own a Porsche than have children, which is kind of like my story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like preferred. It's just the way it worked out. You know, I don't have all the money I spend on kids, so I think I'll just pour it into dogs and Porsches. But anyway, he says it's better for the environment. He's another one of these human-hating people who don't want kids. If we don't have more kids, the species will die, which I think a lot of them want. Quote, I'm never planning on having kids. I would much rather own a Porsche and have a Portuguese water dog and golden doodle. Long term, it's cheaper, better for the environment, and will never tell you it hates you or ask you to pay for college. Okay. In one tweet, he says everybody should go to college and we should all pay for it, and including all the plumbers and the electricians and people who go to trade school who never went to college and didn't need to and make more money than those of us who actually did. He also said, David Hogg, any politician doing anything with me is in effect committing political suicide. And the DNC has now made him their co-chair. Here's another nugget of joy from David Hogg. Let's see. Here's what someone said about it. I'm not sure how electing Hogg as the DNC vice chair is going to help Democrats solve their male voter problem. First of all, I don't think we have to worry about David having kids because I don't think he leans that way, but whatever. Here's the other David Hogg nuggets of joy. Abolish ICE. Defund the police, not the Postal Service. The NRA, National Rifle Association, needs to be designated a terrorist organization for the role and their supporters playing in staging an insurrectionist coup. I had to clean it up. It's full of misspellings. This Harvard-educated moron can't spell. All right? Well, at Harvard, we do not end our sentences in prepositions. Anyway. That's a joke, which I can't say the punchline to. Unlike COVID, there's no vaccine for climate change once we start feeling the impacts, so we can just implement and survive. There's only one solution, prevention. So he's, the pro-fake vax. If this election is a match between Taylor Swift and Ted Nugent, I think it's safe to say I've seen enough. Biden wins the 2024 election. Upon accepting the new DNC leadership position, ex-users are calling out Hogg for his post, saying, we have enough straight white men in power. It'd be nice to see some people who actually look like our country and not privilege. That's what white boy David Hogg had to say. We had too many white people and too many people of privilege. We needed to actually look like our country. Last time I checked, it's still 60% Caucasian.
Yeah, he was accepted into Harvard because of his white privilege.
Yeah, he's a privileged baby, basically. There's several reasons he was let into Harvard. Of course, the Columbia of Massachusetts, I like to say. Unbelievable. David
Real quick,
Hogg.
we got Ed on the horn. He wanted to critique our show.
All right, Ed, give it a shot here.
Fellas, before I give you my opinion about your performance, I want you to know that I'm missing my daily dose of prep school, Vietnam, Marine, medical records, first chair trombone, and I live in a cul-de-sac. Other than that, you guys are 5 stars, 100% 5 stars.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're not the Kimmer, but we try. We try and come as close as we can. We try and keep the show going in almost the same way he does, and so we don't lose the audience, basically.
Excellent job, brothers.
Thank you very much, Ed.
I appreciate it. That's a very nice breakdown. Maybe we should play that once Kimmer comes back. We'll play that for him.
427.
427. Of course, we know he's listening. He's feeling sick. I'm telling you right now, this is the first time he's never called in when he's out. Because even during his heart attack days, he would call in. So I think this is the first time ever. So he's really not feeling well if he's not calling in. And we highly encourage if you'd like to call in, we would love that as well. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. The number, if you'd like to join, like Ed just did, 404-741-1230. That's 404-741-1230. Oh, we're going to break already?
You don't have to. If you got another topic, we've got plenty of time.
Well, I wanted to tease this, that at least 20,000 federal workers have taken the Trump buyout offer, with more expected to accept. It's not as many as I thought, but then again, they're weighing. They have until, I think, Thursday to figure this out, what they want to do. At least that's last I heard. Thousands of Fed workers have accepted it. They're taking 8 months' pay and benefits. That's a great deal in exchange for walking away from the government workforce. They have until Thursday to decide, that's 2 days from now, whether to accept the offer, which the White House hopes will reduce the federal payroll by between 5 to 10%. They're reporting today, Axios is, that close to 20,000 have accepted already. That's less than 1% of government personnel. But hey, it's like a school bus of lawyers going over a cliff. It's a good start. I'm Pete Davis, that's Flounder. We'll come back after news. A little bit more on the Fed workers, plus breaking news. We got Pete's Tweets coming up, second half of the show. And we also got Holy Crap at Sports, all kinds of weird stuff going on in the NBA, and some slight Braves news. We'll get to that coming up right after the break.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Extra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
We got a lot more exciting political action coming up. First of all, I don't know what's going. Maybe it's the politics, or people are just angry or distracted or something. But people are nuts on the road. Have you noticed how crazy drivers are? Even if you're in a wreck, I have some great advice for you. Even if it's a little fender bender, before you get all bent out of shape, first take care of yourself, make sure you're okay. Then call David Van Sant. I don't know what's going on the roadways, but David Van Sant's a guy to call, because Van Sant Law, used to work for the insurance companies. So he knows all about it. I love insurance companies. They've been great in the past, but they don't want to pay any more than they have to. David Van Sant makes them pay more than they want to, that's for sure. And in fact, when his name pops up on the insurance company's phone nameplate, oh no, it's Van Sant, I'm not taking this. Somebody, here we go, we're going to start paying through anyway. I mean, I'll bet you they call him all kinds of names in a happy, wonderful way, because he really knows what he's doing. By the way, don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid at Van Sant Law. He's been there. He knows what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and what to ask, and get you your case solved. Believe me, you're going to love this advice. 855-GA-INJURY. 855-GA-INJURY. Online, vansantlaw.com. It works. He's there for you. vansantlaw.com.
You may know that ATL Turf Co. has become a leader in artificial grass design and installation services. But you may not know that ATL Turf Co. is a large artificial grass distributor. We only sell U.S.-made premium name brand turf at factory direct pricing below wholesale. And now we're open to the public with large inventories of lawn and landscape, putting green, athletic, and pet turf on sale. Plus, all remnants are on sale for only $1 per square foot, direct from Dalton to our warehouse in Kennesaw. Visit atlturfco.com to learn more. atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Exmark. Start your engines and let's get ready for grass cutting season. Now is the time to visit the guys at Howard Brothers and learn how you can upgrade your Exmark mower fleet or get your existing fleet in tip-top shape before the work starts. The Exmark Turf Tracer, Radius, Laser, these are all mowers designed with you, the professional landscaper, in mind. You can be confident that your job will be done to perfection with an Exmark mower in your fleet. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. You want to jump into spring and not worry about your home? Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day, and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day. The Trusted Toolbox.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Pete Davis Davis, Flounder, and for the Kimmer, still got the flu. Believe me, you don't want to see him right now. You don't want to be in the vicinity right now. Flu is a bad, bad thing. So is Courtney Love on this date in 2003. Courtney arrested at Heathrow Airport for endangering an aircraft on a transatlantic flight. The singer, lead singer of Hole, hurled abuse at the cabin crew on the flight from L.A. to London after her nurse was in an economy seat and was not allowed to sit with Love in the upper class cabin. Well, maybe you should have forked out another seat, Courtney. Not like you don't have the money since you stole all of that. Just kidding. Happy birthday, February 4th. Clint Black is 63 years old. Country singer. Flounder, you're a big fan of Clint Black, I'm sure.
He's all right.
Name me a Clint Black song.
You know that one.
That one. The one from Texas? About Texas?
I don't know any of his stuff, to be honest with you. Veronica's a big country fan, so she likes him.
All right, then. All right. 42 years ago, 1983, unfortunately, Karen Carpenter died. She was just 32 years old. Not only a singer, that woman could play the drums. She was a heck of a drummer. She had anorexia, one of the first that we found out about that malady of anorexia. If only she had eaten Mama Casa's sandwich, it would have been just a different story all around. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. You said we have some phone calls, do we?
Yes, we do. First, we're going to get to Jeff in Canada.
All right, Jeff in Canada.
Hey, how?
Jeff, you there?
Hello? Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
How's it going down there?
Pretty good. It's 67 degrees. I'm a happy boy right now.
Oh, it's minus 15 up here, Celsius.
Oh, you got to keep that bacon warm.
Oh, the St. Lawrence River is completely frozen over.
Damn. Are you ice skating on it? Playing hockey?
There was ice skating on our harbor. We have a small harbor, like a rink in the winter. So people are out down there skating and ice fishing on it.
I tell you, I've only been on one frozen pond in my life at Lake Placid, and it was a lot of fun. So that sounds fun. I never played hockey on it, though.
Yeah, the ice fishing is good. Your beer never gets warm.
That's for sure. What's on your mind, Jeff? What's going on in the Great White North?
Well, you know, Trudeau folded to Trump's phone call the other day. We're all happy about that, and it looks like they're going to have to bring Parliament back because public out a little bit crazy.
Now, I understand there was a hockey game last night, and the national anthem of the United States was booed up there.
Well, you see the big right? That's the problem.
I'm sorry,
you broke up.
Broke up just a little bit.
In the big cities, they're full of liberals, right?
Oh yeah.
Happen, unfortunately. It's a shameful thing. They all should be, fined for doing that.
I know that's no way to treat the 51st state's new country. That's just no way of treating it.
Well, I agree. How's the Kimmer doing? Is he getting better?
He's getting a little better, and the doctor says Thursday he could be back, maybe, but we're thinking probably Friday. You never know with the flu. You never know, because sometimes it bites you right back again as soon as you're feeling a little better. So we're hoping he's going to be doing okay. I hope you're doing okay, too, Jeff, up there in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, we're going to be rolling through Atlanta in not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Week tomorrow.
Oh,
well, don't forget that Canadian bacon.
Oh,
I got one for a big for Kimmer to have.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. I think the tariffs are affecting the transatlantic cable that comes across the St. Louis. So,
little break up there at the end.
There. Yeah, little break up there. But, once they become the 51st state, we're going to hammer all that stuff out. Actually, all we really want is Alberta, because that's got all the oil and gas and everything. And maybe a little bit of Banff. We'll take Calgary, because then we can force them to give the Flames back. You said we had some other call on there. Is somebody else waiting to join us?
Yeah, real quick. We got Mike, and then we got Rick the Painter. So here's Mike real quick.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Pete. How you doing?
Just fine. How are you, man?
Oh, great. Hey, listen, I'm on my way from Roswell up to the mountains of Macon. I make this trip every day back and forth, 5 days a week. because we live up there near Lake Notley.
Now, oh yeah, that's farther east from me. It's a nice lake.
A little bit above you up there. Yeah, Morganton, Lake Notley. But yeah, you know why we live up there? It's just gorgeous. We live up in God's country.
No. That's for sure.
Hey,
good swimming.
You and Flounder, you guys are doing great. Could listen to you guys all day long. Do miss the Kimmer, so love you guys. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. We missed the Kimmer too, and he shall return. He's sick every 4 or 5 years. It's not like he does this all the time.
And now we got Rick the Painter.
Oh boy, it's our daily call from Rick the Painter. I look forward to this every day. Rick, how is it shaking?
Hey, man. Hey, Pete. Hey, it's just shaking good. Hey, brother. And Pete and the Flounder, good guys. And again, thanks to the Team Kimmer, we got live shows. We don't have reruns and best ofs. You guys are doing a great job. So, Kimmer, we love you, man. Hope you're coming back soon. But you stay home and be safe until you come back. These guys have got it. Hey, but I found out, you got to watch out what you say at family gatherings these days. You got to be careful. Mm-hmm. I found out today that I'm not invited to this year's family reunion because of a comment that I made at last year's reunion. We were all standing around outside the picnic table, and then suddenly these big flies started circling around Aunt Betty. Well, circling around her hairdo, her big bouffant hairdo. And I don't know, it might have been a hairspray, I don't know. Well, she got upset, and she was swatting at these flies. And she said, "Oh, I've never seen nothing like that. What kind of flies are these circling around me like this?" Well, this is where I messed up. I said, "Oh, Aunt Betty, those are circle flies." She said, "Well, what are circle flies?" I said, "Those are the kind of flies that circle around a horse's rear end." She looked at me, oh, man, she could have killed me right in front of everybody. She looked at me, she says, "Are you saying I'm a horse's rear end?" I said, "Oh, no, I wouldn't say that, but you can't fool them flies."
Thank you, Rick. Is it just me, or is it literally the jokes are getting longer?
They're building and building. I've noticed that. That one was a little longer than yesterday's, so...
It's gone from like Henny Youngman one-liners to like George Carlin telling a story of football versus baseball. Or something. Oh, by the way, Flounder, I met a microbiologist the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Mike wasn't on. Yeah. He was a lot bigger than I thought.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Microbiology. See, if you're going to do hurtful ones, do them quick. You pull the scab off in one fell swoop. The Band-Aid comes off in one fell swoop. Anyway, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. I look forward to that every day. Does a good job there. Do we have time to play a cut from Caroline Leavitt, that absolutely brilliant press secretary? What a change. She's talking and telling you why we are cutting USAID.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you.
And a lot of people support it, including Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, cut number 7, who also had this to say to those who want Elon to back off.
To my friends who are upset, I would say with respect, call somebody who cares. They better get used to this. It's USAID today. It's going to be Department of Education tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely right. In fact, the Department of Education, I was going to say this for Pete's tweets, but why not? He just mentioned it, that when it was formed by Jimmy Carter in 1978-79, we were the #1 education system in the world. The world. We are somewhere between 29 and 32 now. The Department of Education has been a complete failure. Give back control of education to local governments and local people and local parents, local PTAs, if the parents show up. My mother was always there at the PTA stuff, man. She was a big participant in this stuff. And that's the reason when we moved to DeKalb County in 1969, between 69 and the mid-70s, DeKalb County was rated the number 2 public school system, county system in the country. There was a county system somewhere outside of Chicago that was supposedly number 1. But for at least 1 or 2 of those years, DeKalb County was considered the second best in the country, which is why I can spell for the most part and count up to 100 in Mexican. So we got that going. But we had teachers who cared, a Principal Schwartz, that cared. I mean, it was just a great school, Columbia Elementary. And by the time I got to high school, you could tell it was starting to fade. By mid-70s, 76, 77, you could tell Columbia High School had gone to pot. Southwest DeKalb was starting to go down, and it was just a mess. But for a brief time there, I was so lucky, my brother was so lucky, and my sister was so lucky to be part of it for a brief 5-6 year period there. And education is so damn important, and that just shows how good it is. I'm Pete Davis, that's Flounder, and we'll be back right after this.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. When times get tough, where do you keep your stuff? Answer, in a quality safe from the Safe House, of course. Don't go to a big box store and get a fake safe. That would be as effective as Joe Biden's fake border policy. For over 30 years, the Safe House has been providing the best quality safes on the market. Brands like Browning, Fort Knox, and Champion. And with the largest selection of safes on display in Georgia, we're confident we can help you pick the right safe to fit your needs. So drop by our huge showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
For half a century, glyphosate has affordably and effectively protected Georgia farmers' crops from invasive weeds. Without it, the impact would be felt beyond the fields, hitting Americans where it hurts, our wallets. That's why the Modern Ag Alliance advocates for farmers' continued access to essential crop protection tools so food prices don't rise even more. Get the facts at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Trump Care PPO health plans. How about $0 deductibles available for immediate enrollment from Health Insurance Doctor? Hey, it's the Kimmer. Guess what? Trade in your old Obamacare plan, HBO thing, for $0 deductible Trump Care PPO right now. Saving premiums up to 60% lower. Saving big while enjoying access to the top-rated insurance carriers. It's perfect. Individuals, families, small businesses. Call my guy Steven, 678-523-0759. Today, visit him on the web, thehealthinsurancedoctor.net.
So, the doc says I have ED. ED. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just an abbreviation for a condition so many men have. If I was to be honest, I probably also have a little OCD. I know I have a great HMO. Heck, I even have 3 weeks of PTO. Look, don't let a few letters get you down. If you have ED, there's HELP. Go see Dr. Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He's an ED specialist that will turn your life around PDQ. ED happens to a lot of men as we age. And just FYI, Dr. Deal can give you back the confidence you need to perform on the JOB. So, ready to take the first step? Quit yelling WTF at your little BFF and visit tbtofga.com. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can fix your ED ASAP. And before you know it, you'll be screaming OMG.
I'm getting in the game. The world won't be the same. I'm good to go.
Call 404-777-1911 or visit tbtofga.com.
Why shop for Valentine's Day at D. Geller & Son Jewelers? Because you don't want to end up like shouldn't have case number 735.
Hey, sweetheart, I got you something for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
I went in a new direction this year. I think you're going to love this. Go ahead, open it.
Oh, wow. A new vacuum.
Not just any vacuum. This thing has a 500-watt motor, comes with multiple attachments, and it has 4 suction modes. So you'll never have to sleep again.
Wow, honey. You really shouldn't have.
A vacuum might save her from sweeping, but jewelry from D. Geller & Son will sweep her off her feet. This Valentine's Day, give a treasure, not a chore, with a beautiful piece of jewelry from D. Geller & Son. Like diamond hoops starting at $875, tennis bracelets starting at $15.15, and diamond studs starting at just $190. Save up to 20% with our Valentine's gift guide, or go big and get 0% APR financing for 5 years. Take the risk out of shopping this Valentine's Day at D. Geller & Son, making her sparkle, not her floors, since 1939. In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Are you tired of dealing with loud, ugly, drafty garage doors? Do you have certain rooms in the house that you can't keep cool in the summer or warm in the winter? Hi, I'm Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Now is a great time to upgrade with brand new, efficient, quiet, and beautiful garage doors. Your garage door is the biggest opening in your home, which is why it's such an important part of your home's curb appeal and energy efficiency. Give us a call today at 770-517-7078. Get started today by visiting us at allfourseasonsgarages.com.
You got to get up and move around. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You hear it, you got to get up. I wish people could see you dancing, Flounder, right now. The white boy dance. Is that what we're going to look forward to in a couple weeks?
That's exactly what you're going to see.
Bunch of white people dancing.
But having a good time.
That's right. Having a great time on the lake. Bjorn Ulvaeus, in the year 2000, confirmed that members of ABBA had turned down $1 billion offered by American and British consortium to reform the group. It's a hell of a lot of money to say no to, but we decided it wasn't for us. Benny Andersson told the Swedish newspaper Aftonbladet. By the way, they've had a mass shooting. At least 10 people dead in Sweden today. Don't know who did it, but that was earlier today. I have not checked in to see what was going on. Happy birthday, February 4th, Lawrence Taylor. We don't get to hear Kimmer's Lawrence Taylor story. Anyway, 66 years old. Greatest defensive player of all time by a lot of people. Probably was. He impacted the game. He changed the game. Played 13 seasons with the New York Giants. What a scary, to this day, he's a scary, scary man. And I have been close to that guy when he was unhappy. And he is not someone you want to be anywhere near. And also in 1987 on this date, February 4th, flamboyant pianist Liberace died at the age of 67. He died, he choked on he had AIDS. He had AIDS. What a shock. Michael Douglas played him in HBO's Behind the Candelabra. Did you see that movie, Flounder?
Yes, Matt Damon was in it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually. It was a really good movie.
It was a good movie, but there were some uncomfortable moments.
Yes, very much so.
And something I didn't know, that Liberace was so brazen that he would go to the outskirts of Las Vegas where he lived and go to those porn sites and places where you could rent rooms and stuff and try basically get anonymous sex. But as Matt Damon kept telling me, you're not anonymous. Everybody knows who you are. It's amazing it didn't come out sooner about him.
Interesting life that guy led.
Yeah, it was an interesting movie. By the way, we've got a couple things here that came over. The Boston University employee who basically called to put a bounty, dead or alive, on the Doge employees' heads has been scrubbed from Boston University's website. His name is Jared May. Basically called for them to be killed and doxed them. And he's hopefully he's been fired, and he'll be, of course, Elon says he broke laws. He did. He broke laws. And Chuck Schumer has now pointed out an unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. To which Michelle Tafoya, talk about projection, who was running the White House for the last 4 years? It certainly wasn't the man who was elected president. And that's another question we need to get to the bottom of. Who the hell was pulling the strings for at least the last 2 or 3 years? As I watch, I'm not able to eat because I'm doing most of the talking here. I see that Flounder has pulled out a beef stick. Hopefully it's a healthy one.
It is. It's actually Wagyu beef.
Wagyu, whatever you pronounce it. Is it tasty?
Very delicious. Next time you're here, I'll bring you one.
Every once in a while, a beef jerky hits the spot. I used to, when I was a grass monkey on Memorial Drive at the Sing Oil Company, my breakfast sometimes would be a can of Gatorade. And Gatorade tastes different in a can. And that was the Pop Top days. Can of Gatorade, a beef jerky stick from Slim Jim, and a bag of Doritos. That was breakfast.
That's the breakfast of champions right there.
And for dessert, I'd get the Suzy Q or the Ho-Ho from Hostess and eat that. But I'm so looking forward, Sherry, to eating the Nutty Buddy cream pie. I forgot to look for it last night when I came back from Atlanta. I forgot to look at it when I stopped by the store, so I'm going to have to check that out. Finishing up that story, I was telling you about the 20,000 federal workers have taken the Trump buyout offer. They have until Thursday to do it. The White House official says, I can tell you the 20,000 number isn't that current. The number of deferred resignations is rapidly growing. We're expecting the largest spike 24 to 48 hours before the deadline, which is in a couple days. It could apply to at least 2.3 million federal employees. They want the goal of 5 to 10% of the workforce accepting it. It could save taxpayers close to $100 billion. And it's a great package, by the way. Let's see. No jokes there. No pun intended. Let's see what else you get. You get 8 months pay and benefits that continue. It's not like you're stuck with COBRA, something like that, which is a ripoff. On average, the federal attrition rate for workers is about 6% annually. It's not fully clear how many of these individuals who took the buyout plan to depart their role anyway. They were going to go anyway. Critics questioning whether it's even legal. Saying Congress would have to have sign off on such a dramatic employee reduction. Please. Public sector unions have advised their members to not accept the buyout. So you got that going for you, which is not too nice on there. Let's play something we played yesterday. I only got to play it once. And it's a Mexican-American man, don't know his name, and he's talking about these, and they're still doing it today, especially in California. They're basically blocking traffic, attacking cars, spraying graffiti on everything, and keeping people from getting to the hospital or getting to work on the highways and the byways from Atlanta to Dallas to Houston to L.A. And it's Mexicans, illegals, waving Mexican flags in America. And here's what this gentleman had to say about that.
Imagine if I went to Africa and I wanted to live there, right? And all of a sudden, Africa wanted to deport me back to my homeland, the United States of America. And imagine if I went and I protested against Africa and I was lifting a United States of America flag in protest, saying I wanted to stay in Africa, but waving this flag from another country. How crazy would that look? How crazy would that be? That's exactly what's happening with people that are protesting right now in the United States. They're lifting up flags from different countries in protest of being deported back to those countries. Think about that. How wild is that? If you love that country so much, why don't you go back over there? But let's be really honest. Instead of you sitting there lifting up that flag from another country, why don't you lift up the flag from the United States of America and say, hey, I want to stay here. I love this country. I appreciate this country. It's a blessing to live here. I don't want to go back to any other country. And you wonder why patriots and United States citizens like myself are fed up seeing this stuff, because you're ungrateful. You don't appreciate the blessing it is to live in the United States of America. If you did, you wouldn't lift a flag of a foreign country that didn't do nothing for you.
Has anybody said it better than that gentleman right there? A Mexican-American, a legal citizen who did it right, is proud to be an American. He is the melting pot. When I was growing up, you know what we were taught? We were taught two things about America. Three things. We were a melting pot. E pluribus unum was our motto, our national motto. Is that really what it was supposed to be? E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Many from all over the place come together as one, and the one is to be an American. The other one was what Lincoln said during the Civil War. United we stand, divided we fall. That was ingrained in our heads when we were in school. Do they even teach that anymore? Or do all they talk about is the mantra, diversity is our strength? I'll do this one more time, and the YouTube guys, you've seen this before. Your fingers waving around, that's diversity. You got 4 fingers and a thumb doing different things. But when they come together and they form a fist under one idea, under one social moray or moral code, and they form a fist, that's strength. When they become an American, when they become one, not always agreeing, but coming together on the main design is to be an American, that's strength. And that's what Trump understands. Biden and Democrats don't understand this. Multiculturalism, while a wonderful idea in their heads, is a failure wherever it's been. Look at Great Britain, what's going on. Look what's going on in Germany right now. Look what's going on in parts of America. Look what's going to start happening in Australia. Australia is bringing in thousands of Palestinians. The Muslim and Arab world does not want Palestine. By the way, they're Arabs. We should quit calling them Palestinians. They're not a separate race. They're not a separate thing. They're Arabs. That's what they are. They're Arab Muslims. And that's what I'm going to call them from now on. I'm so tired of hearing changing the names and changing this and playing with what the left does and playing with the vernacular and the jargon and all that stuff. No. They're Arabs. So let's get to that. But e pluribus unum, united we stand, divided we fall. We should go back to teaching that. A fist is strength. Fingers flailing about in diversity, that's not strength, and never has been and never will be. I'm Pete Davis, filling in for the Kimmer. Flounder is here as well, and Kimmer should be back in a few days. We hope he's feeling better. So send some prayers out to him. We got one more hour to go today, and we'll be right back.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
He wants peace in the Middle East. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's what President Trump told reporters just before a meeting now underway with Israel's prime minister, the first foreign visitor to the White House of his second term. A visit that comes with the second phase of talks set to begin in the ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. President Trump says Gaza is uninhabitable.
The whole place is demolished. It's unsafe. It's unsanitary. It's not a place where people want to live.
He says he'd like to see Jordan and Egypt accept displaced Palestinians from Gaza, something both countries have rejected. The president telling advisors to obliterate Iran if that country kills him.
President Trump says he's left instructions in the event Iran carries out an assassination on him.
If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left.
The Justice Department announced last year an Iranian plot intended to kill President Trump was thwarted. Iran has vowed revenge for the killing of a commander in a drone strike ordered by President Trump during his first term.
Fox's Jared Halper, and this as the president signed an executive order aimed at restoring a maximum pressure campaign to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Tomorrow, he's expected to sign an order that would effectively ban transgender girls and women from female sports in schools and colleges. Today, doctors and families went to court trying to block a Trump order ending federal funding of gender-affirming care for those under age 19. Two controversial nominees head for Senate votes, including Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Indiana Republican Senator Todd Young reassured enough to support her.
He also believes that members of the intelligence community will be okay with Tulsi Gabbard. He says, quote, "I've done my work. I've done my vetting. I've done what I think as a former Marine Corps intelligence officer is consistent with national security."
Fox's Chad Pergram, Robert F. Kennedy's nomination to lead Health and Human Services, also advancing along party lines. America is listening to Fox News.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right up like really on your dog park. First slide to the rear. Road guards out. Here we go.
Now, that's production value you don't get just anywhere right there.
Thanks to Mike, our crackhead engineer, for putting that together.
That's what he was doing. I saw him roaming around in there, pushing buttons and doing things. I thought he was up to something there. Great job, Mike. Thank you very much there, sir. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder filling in for Kimmer. Kimmer's got the flu. Has had it for a few days now, probably a week since it's Tuesday. Yeah, he's had it for about a week because he was feeling poorly last week before he took off.
Yeah, he started kind of having the sniffles and stuff like that around Wednesday.
Yeah, and his stomach was messing up with him, stuff like that. So doctor says he went to the doctor today, and he said Thursday come back at the earliest. We're not really expecting him Thursday because he's got to build his strength back a little bit. But say a prayer for the Kimmer to help him get better, because that always works. On this date, February 4th in 1996, Milli Vanilli superstar Rob Pilatus hospitalized. He was hit over the head with a baseball bat in Hollywood by a guy whose car he was trying to steal. He died of an overdose two years later. That's not a good thing there, getting hit over the head in Hollywood. And happy birthday to Alice Cooper, 77 years old. What an interesting gentleman. Every time I see him interviewed, when he talks about Groucho Marx as his neighbor, that's some funny stuff. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Alice Cooper, still kicking it. His lyric that best sums up his genius, according to this friend of Flounders: when you see me with a smile on my face, then you'll know I'm a mental case, which is from Lost in a Dream off Alice's very first major label album, Love It to Death. Guess which song? He said he grew up in Arizona. He was painting a house with his dad, and a song came over on the radio. Guess which song changed Alice Cooper's life? Beatles song.
Beatles song. A Day in the Life?
No, because we're talking early 60s.
Early 60s.
So it was, yeah,
Like
She Loves You. She Loves You. Yeah, which is right. And he said the next one was I Want to Hold Your Hand. And he said he put down the paintbrush and said, what was that? And it changed everything. He said right then and there he knew he was in grade school or high school that he knew he wanted to be in a band and everything like that. Lots going on. This is what's great about doing a show at this point in time with Donald Trump in the White House again, is he's doing 3 or 4 things an hour that we could do whole shows on. In fact, I'm looking right now. Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, is meeting him right now in the Oval Office. They're talking. That's great. We're sending our first flights of criminals, illegal alien criminals, to Guantanamo Bay today. El Salvador says, for a small fee, we will take the worst of those criminals off your hands and put them in our prison warehouses. So they're offering. By the way, the president of El Salvador is cleaning that place up. You know how he's doing it? He's taking all the gang members and he's throwing them in prison. And the homicide dropped, I think, 90% almost overnight. And that's what kills me. We know who the gang members are. We know who the gang leaders are. We know who they are in this country. We know who they are in Mexico. And this whole crap of we can't go get them is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Alex Jones saying that USAID was secretly funding the BBC. That's right. British Broadcasting Corporation. They ran anti-Trump ads. And that we were paying it with our taxpayers. We were paying the BBC to run anti-Trump stuff. Let's see. Donald Trump has just pulled the United States officially out of UNWRA, which was basically, it helped Hamas hide and kill Israelis a year or so ago. And basically lied about it. Promise made, promise kept. We have officially defunded UN, the United Nations, WRA. I don't know what the WRA stands for. I should have had staff look that up. Staff? But we'll get on that top men as we speak. Also, what else? Oh, that was it.
United Nations Relief and Work Agency.
Right. And it turns out, and we're not the only country to do this, by the way. Israel's kicked them out, and some other countries have also turned their back on them, too, and defunded them. The United Nations is as corrupt as it gets. It's almost as bad as Congress and American journalists these days. All right, let's change subject here a second. Something that, for some people, strikes close to home. Not me, but for others. I don't know who needs to hear this. Urgent warning as cases of schizophrenia triggered by cannabis triples in 10 years. Cannabis, which some of you may know as marijuana.
The weed.
Maybe the weed, the evil weed. What else we got? What is it called?
The devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce. We got several from Acapulco Gold.
Yep.
No stems, no seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is Weed. Thank you, Cheech and Chong, for skewing my youth. All right. They're saying schizos are being caused by cannabis. Alarming research suggesting today. Advocates of the drug purport that marijuana is safe because it is natural. But Canadian researchers found new cases of schizophrenia as triggered by marijuana has tripled since 2015 when Canada legalized the drug. David Hogg wanted it legalized. Maybe we should put a tariff on Canadian opinions, too. I don't know about this. In just under 2 decades, the figure rose from 4% to 10%. This shows the drug heavily worsens symptoms of the condition. It's a growing public health challenge. We'll just send all yours up there, down here, and we'll take care of it. Dr. Daniel Myron, an expert in public health at the University of Ottawa, said regular cannabis use is strongly associated with the increased risk of schizophrenia, and psychosis is up too, with a bullet. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., the drug has seen a meteoric rise over the past decade. 24 states have legal recreational use. Georgia is not one of them, correct? Do we have legal? All right. THC, one of the main active components found in marijuana, stimulates the areas of the brain which have mood, attention, and memory, and you get the hormone dopamine. The same thing when you look at a dog's eyes. You're releasing dopamine, and so is the dog. It gives you a feeling of reward and pleasure. Now, small and frequent doses have a little long-term impact, but prolonged, regular use signals in these key brain areas, things can start going awry. Studies suggest that frequent cannabis use can increase the risk of serious mental illnesses like schizophrenia, insomnia, social anxiety disorder, and suicidal thoughts. Symptoms of schizophrenia include, but not limited to, hallucinations, muddled thoughts, muddled speech, and wanting to avoid other people.
Just other people in general, or particular people you know?
Yeah, like people you would see at the store, people you'd see at the stables or something. I don't know. You don't like people.
Let me ask you something. If you were to see someone you knew from high school in the store, are you the kind of person that would approach them and say hi, or just kind of avoid them?
I would probably say hi, especially if I liked. But then again, I'm thinking about who I still stayed in contact with. I have stayed in contact with 0 people from my high school.
From high school?
I'm still friends with Glenn. I'm still friends with Joe, but I never see him anymore. In fact, Joe was in Ukraine last I heard. But anyway, Glenn is somewhere. I don't know where Glenn is. Brian I lost track to. So just about everybody that I knew in high school, including the one I married, I haven't really had a lot of talking to in the last 39 years. So thanks for asking that question and bringing up
old times.
Now I need a hit of marijuana to get that
make you feel better.
Dopamine going to make me feel all better. But if I saw somebody, I would probably go up and say something to them, even though I have never been to any of my high school reunions, mainly because I think the person in charge of that keeps me off the list.
Yeah, I haven't been invited to any reunions. I'm not sure if my school has had any reunions, but I haven't been to any.
I know they've had them. I've seen Facebook posts about it. I've never been invited because the woman that was supposedly in charge years ago hated my guts because I never showed up for homeroom. I was always late. That's Joe's fault, by the way. No, I was always late. For the entire year, my junior or senior year, I was late, and she was always mad because the teacher kept marking me there when I wasn't there. Turns out I had mono for most of the year. I think most of my junior or senior year I had mono, which is why I couldn't get up in the morning. I was just tired I was tired for like 6 months. And the doctor says, well, you've had mono, but you're almost over it now. Your white blood cells are back or something like that. He said, we should have checked this earlier. And my mother said, well, I just thought he was being a lazy teenager not getting out of bed. So whatever. Anyway, we come back. We got, what do we got? Holy crap, it's sports. How could I forget? And after that, Pete's tweets. We're gonna have a turbo ending to the Kimmer Show today with Pete's tweets. I'm telling you, right after this on the Kim Peterson Show.
From the the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust. Your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank you for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 28th Annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 because with carrier rebates, the best in the business, working with the best in the business at Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air Conditioning the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947. And it's still that way today. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 28th Annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier expert.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Have you considered securing your family's future? Protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease. Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademark Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you are absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. The civilian world can be confusing, and veterans do not need to journey through it alone. When you reach out to the Warrior Alliance, we will guide you to the best-in-class resources that can lead you toward renewed purpose after serving our nation. Find out why thousands of warriors have found success after service after engaging with the Warrior Alliance. For assistance, go to thewarrioralliance.org or call 404-210-1776.
Who doesn't want a great smile? The world seems brighter because it is. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, that's only one reason to see my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler at Atlanta Smiles. The other reason, of course, is to take care of your teeth if they're going to make your life miserable. We all know that. But when's the last time you were smiling before you walked in the door like me? Because I know Dr. Dina and her staff are the happiest Kimmer babes you ever saw. We're going to fix me up, and I always take the gas. They tell me my best stories come out that way. And you can actually get a doggy right there napping in my lap, a little doggy. I said, go ahead, work away. Dr. Dina's a Navy vet, ranked a master dentist, which only 1% can say. She's been doing veneers since before anybody even knew what that was. My first visit was 30 years ago. Cosmetic dentistry, cleaning, bridges, crowns, especially keeping your teeth and gums healthy to last as long as you do. Veterans automatic 10% discount. Just tell them when you call. Atlanta Smiles, 404-262-7733. It's atlantasmiles.com. Your new smile's waiting for you. atlantasmiles.com. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Ask for the doggy. atlantasmiles.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
And the 5 o'clock hour is brought to you by Lee Brandt Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit leebrandt.com. And now, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
All kinds of stuff breaking on. I teased earlier that there's some Braves news, and I had some almost Braves news, but now we have Braves news. Let's see, and this is from Dickey Broadcasting. Atlanta Braves Radio Network, Dickey Broadcasting Company, and 680 The Fan announced Barrett Salih, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, I think it's Salih, is the new pre- and post-game show host for the Atlanta Braves play-by-play. He does a great job. I follow him on Twitter. He does a great job covering Braves and sports. He has got opinions, man. He is not afraid to say them. And he just tweeted, I am now the pre- and post-game host for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. It is a dream to bring the listener in-depth coverage of the franchise that I have loved since the moment I was born. It is an honor to join the 680 The Fan family and the Braves Radio Net family. So, and then he said, ignore the typo. But anyway, congratulations, Barrett. He does a great job on Twitter, and I can't wait to hear him do the pre- and post-game show. I'm sure he'll do a great job because he's from here. He knows here. He knows the Braves, and he knows his sports, especially Southern sports. And I'm looking forward to hearing him do it. All right, we got some Falcon stuff going on here. Since my printer didn't want to print, I'm just going to read it right here off the Mac. We now know why Kirk Cousins didn't play well this past season, or at least here is the excuse. Kirk's first season with the Falcons not going as planned for either party, and now the quarterback has finally shed some light on why things went sideways for him after the strong start. He said today, Kirk Cousins, on NFL Network's Good Morning Football, that he took a hit during the team's Week 10 game against the Saints. He hurt his right shoulder and elbow. Previously, he and the team had maintained that he was healthy. I, against the Saints, got hit pretty good in my right shoulder and elbow, and from there, kind of dealing with that was something I was working through and just never really could get it to where I wanted it, Cousins says. The Falcons lost that game, which started that 4-game losing skid, sent them from 6-3 to 6-7. And basically was, pissing away the division. Cousins was benched in the favor of rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. in Week 16 after a stretch of 9 interceptions and just 1 touchdown pass in 5 games. Cousins listed as limited on the injury report for 1 day during Week 11 for that injury before the Falcons game on the road against the Broncos. That day was just a walkthrough, though, and the injury report was an estimate. Cousins said after the Broncos game there was just a clerical error and that he was 100% healthy. The Falcons won just 2 more games after that 6-3 start. After being in pole position to win the NFC South with a pair of wins over the Buccaneers, they ended up missing the playoffs. Atlanta has not had a winning season nor a playoff appearance since 2017. Now Cousins' future with the team is unclear. Penix performed well in his 3 games as starter. The team is committed to him moving forward. Atlanta interim GM Terry Fontenot said last month that the team was very comfortable with Cousins being Penix's backup next season. By the way, Fontenot, the only NFL GM that did not attend the Senior Bowl. Good look there, Falcons. Cousins signed a 4-year, $180 million contract last offseason, $90 million guaranteed. If the Falcons cut Kirk before the start of next year, March 12th, that's the league year, March 12th, they would get hit with a $65 million in dead money charge coming from his fully guaranteed base salary of $27.5 million and $37.5 million in remaining proration. Let's see, if they do it with a post-June 1st designation, the dead money would spread over 25 and 26 seasons. $40 million this year, $25 next year. A trade, another option if Cousins gives the go-ahead, which he would. He has a no-trade clause, but he would want out. Cousins played well earlier this year, could be attracted to teams. San Francisco, maybe. Shanahan maybe wanting him. If the Falcons trade Kirk, they would be on the hook for $37.5 million of the remaining salary, while his fully guaranteed $27.5 million of base salary would transfer to the new team. All right. There's also a likelihood that Atlanta would have to eat some of the $27.5 million in the deal. Probably would. Cousins also has a $10 million roster bonus for next year, 2026, that would become fully guaranteed on the 5th day of this league year, which is starting March 12th. So St. Patrick's Day. Adam Schefter of ESPN reported in December that the Falcons are likely to cut Cousins before that $10 million bonus kicks in. Fontenot has denied that. Fontenot's remarks after the season made it seem the Falcons are looking to get value back from a Cousins in a trade, which they should try, of course. But I don't think Terry Fontenot has much to say in the matter. I don't think he's really in charge. Today, Cousins said his future is still kind of uncertain. He'll know more in March. I definitely still feel I have a lot of good football left in me. His focus is getting healthy. I'm no good to the Falcons. I'm no good to a team I'm not feeling really good with. And so that's really where my focus has been through January and February. Now that the season is wound down, I'm really taking all the time I can to get my body feeling really good. And he's a good guy, so I hope he does get it back together. But he does it in another uniform in the AFC, hopefully. The Hawks stopped their 7-game losing streak by beating the Pistons in Detroit 132-130 last night. Trae Young had 32 points and 9 assists, despite being snubbed again. Everyone's still talking about the Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade over the weekend. And after pondering this for a couple days now, I've come to this conclusion. The NBA wants the Lakers to be relevant again. That's why this trade has happened. How else do you explain it? The Mavs have sent away a 25-year-old superstar, a generational talent, everybody keeps saying, especially on ESPN. Who does that? They don't even shop him around to get the best deal. They only talked allegedly to the Lakers. Didn't have other teams competing for him. You only talk to one team, and you don't even get enough back from them. The Lakers had 2 draft picks. The Mavericks only got 1. Keep an eye on the Mavericks general manager. See how many cushy jobs this guy gets over the years. I'm not saying he's underhanded or the league's being underhanded, but I'm kind of showing that opinion that it could happen. This may just be the league taking care of their own when they do its bidding. And of course, we all remember the David Stern days of the frozen envelope when the Knickerbockers suddenly got Patrick Ewing against all odds. Imagine that. Of course, they've always denied that, and everyone says it's just a myth. By the way, the gamblers are happy with the trade. The Lakers' odds of winning the title went from 40-1 to 16-1 at ESPN Bet. The Mavs dropped from 25-1 to 33-1. And Luka Doncic is one of 2 men, Flounder, 2 men ever to average over 30 points in the playoffs. Who was the other man?
Your guy, I have no idea.
Come on, take a wild guess.
In the NBA?
Yeah, the guy you think of. Who has all the friggin' records?
Michael Jordan.
The greatest? Michael Jordan. That's right. They traded a guy who's only with Michael Jordan in the playoffs, which shows even if he's out of shape or doesn't seem to care, he shows up for the postseason. He's taken them to a finals. They didn't win, but he took them to one. He's only 25. I think Nowitzki was well into his NBA career before he finally won one with Dallas. So anyway, meanwhile, shocking clip of Doncic drinking a beer alongside his father, Sasa Doncic, back when they won Game 5 to get into the finals and knocked out the Timberwolves. It was taken away by Mavericks former player and team executive Michael Finley. He walked by him and snatched it out of his hand without saying anything to him. Then he shook his father's hand. I'm telling you right now, you and I can't get away with that. If the boss walks by and snatches a beer out of our hand, there's really not a whole lot we can do about it but smile and laugh and think it's a joke.
Yeah, thank you for the beer. Yeah, enjoy my beer.
Yeah, but if I'm Luka Doncic, 2 things are going to happen. 1, give me my damn beer back. You're not embarrassing me in front of my father. And 2, if you don't give me my beer back, we're going to throw hands right here.
Yeah, and don't ever touch me again.
The nice thing would be to walk in front of him, pick up another beer and walk in front of him and open it in front of his face. Because if I'm Luka Doncic, I'm not putting up with that.
No.
What's Michael Finley going to do to me? Please, I'm not for the pampered athlete, but he embarrassed him in front of his father. There is no rule in the NBA about having a beer after a big celebration. I'm sorry. I don't care if the media can see it or fans can see it. We know they drank beer. That's ridiculous. I would never have put up with that. Should he have put up? No. By the way, Luka, lucky, he was about to pull the trigger on a $15 million house in Dallas. Can you imagine if you got traded by Dickey Broadcasting right after you, right before,
about a fit, yeah.
right after you buy your palatial mansion there at the banks of the Mississippi River there in Roswell? I mean, man.
Atlanta. Obviously, he's going to make a buttload of money, but going from Texas to California, you're about to pay a lot more in taxes.
That's right. I don't think is he Serbian, Croatian? Where's he from?
He's one of the, I think he's Croatian.
He's from, because I know Djokovic is from over there. I forget, and I can pick it out on a map, but I can't remember where everybody's from. Speaking of did you find it there? We have full staff working on this as we speak. Top men, one top man. That's B. Flounder right now looking this up. He's Googling. He's on Chrome. He's on Safari. He's on DuckDuckGo. He's on them all, ladies and gentlemen. He's on Bing. He's even hitting Bing because he wants to get to the bottom of this. Where is he from?
I don't even know.
Slovenia. I bet he's Slovenian.
It's LJUBLIJANA.
Something like that. Yeah, he's from where Melania's from, I thought. Yeah, Slovenia, which I hear is a very pretty the whole area, the whole Adriatic is supposed to be very beautiful. Atlanta United has signed Middlesbrough English forward Emmanuel Latte Lath. Three names. ESPN says is an MLS record deal. Latte Lath scored 29 goals in the past 2 years for the second-tier British team. He is coming here for $22 million. He's from the Ivory Coast. He's a striker. The second major signing of the winter for United as they brought midfielder Miguel Almiron back from Newcastle United, where he was in exile. Tiger Woods' mother has passed away. Coltita Woods was 78. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes says if he wasn't playing football, he'd probably be a country music singer. Well, he could win a Grammy, I'm sure. NFL fans, who, by the way, you're going to be betting $1.3 billion on the Super Bowl, they're thinking. They're calling for a Super Bowl boycott. We mentioned this earlier because they're going to play the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, before they do the real national anthem. President Donald Trump will be in New Orleans at the Superdome for the game, the first sitting president to do so. My question is, does he stand up for that song, which is not the national anthem? What do you say, Flounder? What say you?
I don't think he will. It's not the national anthem.
I think he'll stand, but I don't think he'll sing. I don't think he'll put his hand over his heart. I would be surprised if he continued. Now, maybe he's not even in the booth. If I'm him, I leave the booth.
Yeah.
I had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm in the bathroom. You know.
What I missed.
You can't say. Yeah, and I was at the bar. By the way, just to balance things out, the NFL is going to remove the end racism signs in the end zones because racism is over. The race wars are over, last I checked. And the Savannah Bananas are coming to Truist Park Sunday, March 30th.
We've got to go.
We've got to go. Savannah Bananas. We've got to touch Stu or Stan, one of our bosses, and see if he can snack us some tickets or something there.
Absolutely. I'll put the request in.
Thank you very much there. And the sports wanker coward who did not vote for Ichiro Suzuki for the Hall of Fame still refuses to come forward and stick by his vote. All the other 300-plus voters have made theirs known. Somebody needs to dox this guy. Just find out who he is, or her. I'm Pete Davis, and that's sports here on The Kimmer Show. We'll be right back.
The first 100 days of President Trump's second term will move fast. And with changes coming down every day, count on Atlanta's conservative voice to bring you the latest updates without the mainstream spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show. Our huge lineup has you covered from your drive in to your drive home. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and streaming across Georgia on the Extra app.
Okay, so as a Kimmer, I get to say we get to play games. How about the game of, hey, would you like to pick your health insurance coverage? Do you like reading fine print? Do you like going over a contract? Sorry, I can't even think about this stuff. Health insurance coverage for you and your family and your business. If you're self-employed, holy cow, maybe self-insured, you have a little small business. How about that COBRA, huh? How about that COBRA? How about the so-called bridge to Medicare thing? How about Obamacare, Schmamacare? You know, a chronic illness can wipe you out. Well, I got some advice for you. Not that I know about this stuff, but I know who does. The Health Insurance Doctor. By the way, what a great name. His name is Stephen, by the way. Health Insurance Doctor, the non-Obamacare, Schmamacare health plan. How about things like $0 deductibles, year-round no open enrollment problem, no copay when you see your doctor, this nationwide PP something or other, whatever that is. They have style plans that can save you like 60% compared to Schmamacare, Obamacare. They've been doing this for decades in Atlanta. And guess what? They can save you money. I know one family had a $48,000 bill. The health insurance doctor's plan covered it all and put money back in his pocket, and you don't have to pay for it. He doesn't charge you. No cost to you. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. On the web, healthinsurancedoctor.net.
Hi, my name is Steve from Marietta, and we hired ATL Turf Co. to build our dream backyard golf setup. They installed a large 4-hole putting green, a sand bunker, a short game area, and did a full conversion to artificial grass around the pool with decorative retaining walls. ATL Turf Co. was really creative. They were efficient. The installation was a breeze. Price was completely reasonable, and I definitely appreciated their communication throughout the project. I would definitely recommend ATL Turf Co. to anybody thinking about doing a backyard makeover. You can check them out online right now at atlturfco.com.
Hi, I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers, here to remind you that Valentine's Day is coming quickly. Are you prepared? If you are looking for the perfect gift this year, come see us at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. We've got the perfect Valentine's Day gifts like beautiful diamond tennis bracelets or diamond stud earrings for 40% off. That's right, you can give the gift of timeless beauty and elegance with a pair of diamond stud earrings or a sparkling tennis bracelet for 40% off. And to make this year even more special, we are giving away a free gold rose with any purchase over $4.99. So say I love you this year with a gift that never goes out of style. Diamonds from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Come see us at any of our 3 showrooms, find that perfect tennis bracelet or diamond stud earrings, and get a free gold rose with any purchase over $4.99. Solomon Brothers on Peachtree Road in Buckhead, Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta, and Fisher Crossing Drive in Sharpsburg. Online at SolomonBrothers.com or on Instagram at Solomon Brothers.
Hey, it's Tug. When it comes to your home, Southern Exteriors has you covered. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows. If it's on the outside, they do it all. For over 20 years, they've been the go-to for homeowners across the South. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 12 months or 10% off any job. Don't wait. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co today. Southern Exteriors, where the outside matters most.
Attention Warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on Extra 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
I think you already brought these people up, but we can do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again. Yeah. This makes me sad. Childhood's gone.
Such a feeling's coming over me.
Karen Carpenter. Yeah, let me find it here. Yeah, Karen Carpenter on this date, February 4th, 1983. Died at the age of 32, cardiac arrest at her parents' house in Downey, California. Coroner said cause of death, imbalances associated with anorexia nervosa. Wow. Close to you. We've only just begun. Peaked at number 1 and number 2 on the U.S. chart. Wow. In 1975, Playboy's annual opinion poll, readers voted Karen Carpenter the best rock drummer of the year. She was a hell of a drummer.
Yeah, she was a jazz drummer, wasn't she?
I don't know about that. 1997, a civil jury in Santa Monica found O.J. Simpson liable for the deaths of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman, even though the law said he was absolutely positively 100% innocent. $8.5 million in compensatory damages were awarded to Goldman's parents. 6 days later, the jury added $25 million in punitive damage to go to Nicole Brown Simpson's estate and to Fred Goldman. I think that this was the moment when O.J. was let off that we all looked at each other around the country and thought, California's lost. California has now gone completely insane. And happy birthday to Dan Quayle, 78, 44th Vice President of the United States from 1989 to 93 under President George H.W. Bush. So we got that going for us, which is nice. Okay, it's time for Turbo Time, where we hit Pete's Treats, and we really go for the final few minutes here of the Kim Peterson Show. Kimmer should be back later in the week. He's got the flu. Pete Davis, that's Flounder. Filling in. According to most callers, we're doing a good job. You know, in fact, they clean up our mistakes when we make them, like when Jasmine Crockett from Texas and not New York City. All right. Juanita Broderick pointed this out. Ring doorbell. Do you have a Ring doorbell at your place?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know.
Have you walked around your house yet? Have you gone in through the front door?
I'm trying to think if anyone, like our neighbors have come by, but they just kind of knock on the door.
Huh.
I'll need to check when we get home.
You like your neighbors?
Yes, great neighbors. We got real lucky with our neighborhood.
Of course, you have to say that, don't you? What complete pains in the ass these people are. They up all night playing Alice Cooper. Anyway, Ring doorbell was reportedly, according to Libs of TikTok, notifying people if ICE is in the area. That's what the Libs of TikTok is reporting there. That's not good. Let's see. Matt Getz. Remember Matt Getz? Canada won't win a trade war against the U.S. We can live without your sorry excuse for bacon. Oh, just another cheap shot at the bacon there. Come on, man. Here's something interesting. Who put this out? Kane put this out. I told my girlfriend that my mom is deaf, so she needed to speak loud and slow. And then I told my mom that my girlfriend was slow. Just think about that a second or two and it'll come to you. All right, let's see what else. Unseen. Here's how every argument has gone for the last 8 years. 1, Trump says something or does something. 2, all the smart people in the room call him an idiot and explain how what he said or did will cause untold pain and misery. 3, the real world intervenes and actual results show that Trump was right and the smartest people in the room were wrong, and his words and actions actually helped the situation. 4, the smartest people in the room move to the next issue telling us how Trump's wrong about that issue. 5, rinse and repeat. I'm telling you that's true, but it's also true in my life. I've heard it from Democrats since I started paying attention in the late 60s, early 70s. It doesn't matter what it is. Joe Biden has been wrong about every single major foreign issue for the last half a century, according to Robert Gates. They are wrong constantly. Ted Kennedy, wrong. But do they ever admit to it or say, well, we screwed that up? No, they just move on to the next. How many times has Al Gore told us the Maldives and the Seychelles are going to be underwater by 2008? Or Miami Beach he had sharks swimming through the streets of Miami Beach. Then why are all these billionaires like the Obamas, well, actually millionaires, buying all these homes on islands like Hawaii Islands and Martha's Vineyard, places like that? Elon Musk pointed out something that Tacitus, the great Roman, once wrote. The more corrupt the state, the more numerous its laws. Elon Musk also pointed out from 4004 BC to 2020 AD, there were 2 genders. From 2021 AD to 2024 AD, we had 73 genders. And right now we're back at 2 again. Libs of TikTok. View of the Democratic Party, according to the Quinnipiac University poll. Favorable, 31% of Americans find the Democrats favorable, 57% unfavorable. Ultimate 80s page tweets, I was air drumming to Rush while at a stoplight this morning, but I lost a stick out of the window, had to switch my CD player to Def Leppard. Flounder, explain to people why that is humorous.
I'm sorry, I was tweeting something for the work. Well, I'll repeat it real quick, and I'll be happy to.
He was air drumming to Rush at a stoplight. He lost his stick out of the window, one of his sticks. He had to switch the player to Def Leppard.
Deaf, or did you say deaf?
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard, because he lost one of his arms.
That's right. Very, very, very good, sir. The Heinlein Society pointed out, this is for Kimmer, because he loves his TV guide. On tonight is The Wizard of Oz on Turner Classic Movies. The Wizard of Oz, transported to a surreal landscape, a young girl kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again. That's the best summation I've ever seen of this. The Grammys from Sunday night. Poor Will Smith's son. It's poor Will Smith's daughter, or girlfriend, or whatever else. She dressed up in like a bikini and underwear, and Will Smith's son showed up in a tux or black suit with, it looks like Men in Black suit, with a castle on his head. Nobody paid attention because another person showed up buck naked, Kanye's. So that brings me to what Megyn Kelly has said about Beyonce winning yet another album for Country Music Album of the Year and Album of the Year. She won both of them, and she now has like 30. Here's what Megyn Kelly had to say on her show.
Beyonce, she's won 33 Grammys, including for Best Country Album last night. Frank Sinatra got 11 Grammys. The Beatles won 7. Judy Garland, 2. Beyonce, 33. Most overrated artist of all time. Listen to what John Rich tweeted. Folks are asking me, how do music award shows work? He writes, labels and publishers all have blocks of votes. They make deals with each other. You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours type thing. It has zero to do with who made the best music, thus Beyonce with Country Album of the Year. Nice, right? The same thing is true with the CMAs, the ACMs, Billboard, etc. All work exactly the same. Last night, the Grammys outed themselves in a big way. We're not buying it. We know what happened and how she got this award and how she got her 33 Grammys when you've got 2 for the Judy Garlands of the world.
Now, Judy Garland's kind of a weird flex. I don't know where that really comes. She's a great singer, but I don't know how many Grammys she was supposed to win. What was funny is that Beyonce has won 33, and Jay-Z went ballistic last year when she didn't win one last year. I mean, give me a break. All right, Flounder. Have you ever been to Cincinnati?
No, I have not.
Cincinnati's known for 2 culinary things. One, they have something called Skyline Chili. It's chili in spaghetti, right? Isn't that the combination?
I believe so, yes.
I've never had it. I've been to Cincinnati a few times, and I've somehow managed to avoid it. It sounds like something I would probably eat. They've also got something there called Grater's Ice Cream, which my friends Brett and Laura say is some of the best ice cream they've ever had. I don't think I've ever had Grater's. They have now combined the chili and the ice cream for a Skyline Chili French pie, French pie ice cream called Skyline Spice. And get this, it comes with oyster crackers in it.
Oh, it sounds disgusting.
That does. It sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And here, let's tie in the Grammys before we take a break here. Tie in the Grammys with the anti-deportation stuff and riots that were going on in California over the weekend. They were blocking the highway. The Mexicans carrying the Mexican flag Saturday or Sunday night when they were blocking the highway, literally like they were nurses during COVID, had choreographed doing a dance. Do you know what dance they were doing in the middle of the street?
The YMCA?
They were doing Achy Breaky Heart line dancing in the street. I'm not kidding.
For protest?
To protest, to block the street. They were doing, who was Billy Cyrus?
It was Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus, who, by the way, has been one of the worst parents of all time, in my opinion. Those kids he's raised are just warped. And I think the boy is probably more warped than the girl is. That's just my opinion. Anyway, I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. The Kimmers still got the flu. What were you playing there?
I was trying to get Achy Breaky Heart before we went to break, but I had to deal with a commercial, so never mind.
Oh, thank God you didn't get to that, because that was a song that was overplayed. Kind of like Close to You by Karen Carpenter. We'll be right back with more Turbo into the Kimmer Show.
Trump has done many things to help to correct the disastrous efforts of Joe Biden. Chief among them is shutting down the border.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Kevin McAlpin here, alongside Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan, heard right here on Extra 106.3. And Evan, one of the most common questions financial advisors get is, can I retire now? Obviously, this can apply to folks who want to retire early or those who are 65 or older just wanting to know if they've done enough saving over the years. So when a client calls, when they stop by your office, how can you help them determine if they are able to finally retire?
That is the number one
question that we get the first time somebody comes in our office. How do I even know whether I've got enough to get where I need to be? And I think my industry does an awful job of giving you at least the right facts to be able to make that decision. How do I know? Now, the actual creation of an income plan that can take the stresses and the risks and reduce any kind of concerns that you have in retirement, that can get pretty complex. That's why you have a person like me on your team. But the actual knowing whether you have enough to be able to retire is a pretty simple formula that we'd love to share and be able to show clients, hey, you're in a good spot, or no, you're not in a good spot, but if we do these things, we can get back on track and retire ahead of schedule or on your schedule that you want. And that's what we focus on. That's our primary concern when somebody walks in our office.
If you are wondering if you can retire, well, that's why you got to pick up the phone and call Evan and the team at Atlas Retirement today. They're going to give you a complimentary review of your savings and investments. That number is 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Or get more details anytime online. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Exmark. Start your engines and let's get ready for grass cutting season. Now is the time to visit the guys at Howard Brothers and learn how you can upgrade your Exmark mower fleet or get your existing fleet in tip-top shape before the work starts. The Exmark Turf Tracer, Radius, Laser, these are all mowers designed with you, the professional landscaper, in mind. You can be confident that your job will be done to perfection with an Exmark mower in your fleet. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
It's cold in Atlanta right now, but spring is on the horizon. Want to see me and my friends over at 680 The Fan take a plunge? Well, your donation will decide. It's the 2025 Polar Plunge to support Special Olympics Georgia. From now until February 16th, just go to SpecialOlympicsGA.org and make a donation on behalf of our friends at 680 The Fan. If we raise $2,500 or more, I'm taking the plunge at Ackworth Beach on February 22nd. And all donations go to support Special Olympics Georgia. Donate now at SpecialOlympicsGA.org. and click on the Polar Plunge link.
Hey, homeowners, it's Flounder, and I'm here to keep you warm. Well, I won't, but my friends at Dobbs Heating and Air will. As a new homeowner myself, I prefer working with local, family-owned companies who value what matters to me and treats my home like it's their own. The Dobbs family have a passion for what they do, and taking care of people is their primary goal. So if your home needs help staying warm right now, call Dobbs Heating and Air and experience the Dobbs difference. And check them out online at dobbshvac.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
That's it. Put your hands in the air. Point those fingers. First left, then right. Bee Gees, 1978. 4-week run at number 1. Staying Alive. Okay, the Brothers are 5th, U.S. number 1. Also number 1 in the U.K., but who cares? What else we got going today? John Shuck is 85 on February 4th. He was in the Munsters, McMillan and Wife. He played like Rock Hudson's number 2 guy at the San Francisco Police. You've seen him in a lot of things. He was in MASH, the movie. He was Yo-Yo on Holmes and Yo-Yo, short-lived. He played a robot. I think he was also on Get Smart. He was one of the first actors I remember coming out as gay. But you saw him in a lot of stuff back in the 1970s. George Romero was born on this day in 1940. Horror legend, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and I'm sensing a theme here, Survival of the Dead. And his first one, he filmed for like a few $1,000s in Pittsburgh in black and white. Conrad Bain, born on this day in 1923. He was Mr. Drummond on Different Strokes. He was in a few other things, too. And Rosa Parks was born on this day in 1913, the First Lady of the Civil Rights Movement. Let's see, what else we got? On this date in 2004, Facebook began. It's only been around since 2004, 21 years. Mark Zuckerberg, Harvard sophomore. 18 years ago, 2007, the Indianapolis Colts beat the Bears in Super Bowl 29-17. Peyton Manning the MVP, but everybody remembers Prince rocking the halftime show. Medley of hits, Let's Go Crazy and Purple Rain, all that other stuff. He did a really great show in the rain, which is absolutely amazing.
And I don't think he lip-synced.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I'll have to double-check that, but I think he's like one of the last performers who did it live.
Oh, good for them. Lots of stuff has been going on. Like I said, it's great to do a show. Thanks to Kimmer for letting us do this while he's got the flu right now. But there's always something with President Trump in the Oval Office. There's like 2 or 3 things every hour. And we mentioned this earlier. The Trump administration is sending the first flights with scores of heinous illegal immigrants, criminals, to Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. They're sending down there. He met with was he prime minister or president? I think he's Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. Well, he's a leader of Israel. Thank goodness. Let's get that going for him. Trump threatened Iran again, saying if they assassinate him, he will wipe them off from the grave. He will wipe them off the face of the earth. And End Wokeness is showing all the Democrat politicians showing up at the USAID headquarters there in Washington, D.C. He says Dems are showing up like it's a run on the bank because for them, it is. Vindeman, remember him? That Colonel Vindeman? He showed up with his hands out looking because someone said, well, he's probably got some money in there. They're all in there looking to see if they can get the last check or this or last whatever they're looking for in there. That's how pathetic. And Jim Psaki just came out and said that Elon Musk is doing a hostile takeover of the United States government. No, Jen, he's doing just what Donald Trump said he would do when he was running, and why the American people elected Donald Trump, who told everybody that Elon and Doge was going to go after the corruption, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, this is what we voted for.
Yeah. And the Democrats, see, you know what the Democrats are doing? They're saying that Elon is a foreigner who's trying to hostilely take over the United States government. When we told everybody when they were running, this is exactly what Elon was going to do. I'm telling you what, and the Republicans, McConnell and them are still fighting. They're still fighting against Tulsi and Kash Patel.
They're going to lose.
Well, let's hope they lose. That Dick Durbin came out today and said he wouldn't vote
for it, yeah.
That Wyden character of Oregon, who's done nothing but complain about the CIA and the FBI and the surveillance state for all these years since the Patriot Act came along. He's been the chief proponent of that, fighting it. And now you got someone in Tulsi Gabbard who's going to actually agree with him, and he still won't vote for her because Trump put her in there. So, once again, Democrats prefer party over country. They always have, they always will, because they're closet Marxists. Politics is everything. James Woods pointed out, never forget, Trump was leading Georgia by 160,000 votes 4 years ago, and then a water pipe burst and 4 suitcases came out. But then America got to hit rock bottom under the big guy and the cackler, and now we let slip the dogs of war. Great Christopher Walken movie, Dogs of War, if you ever get a chance. I think it's a John Forsythe book. Let's see. Megyn Kelly just did the John Rich tweet I was going to put out there. If you haven't heard, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says he's allowing an illegal immigrant to live above his garage, and he dared ICE to try and take them. Today, he's kind of backtracking. You hear him beeping all the way from New Jersey, saying, oh, no, beep. Beep. No. I didn't say that. You misheard me, or you mistranslated that. Well, you're speaking English, were you not? Whale psychiatrist, that's a great name for a tweet. Ha, 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 they stole an election and it just gave him 4 years to plan every detail of his return. The poor fools. Napoleon came back and had 100 days to do what he wanted before they locked him up. So hopefully Trump has longer than Napoleon did before his Waterloo. Let's see, the New Birth Baptist Church here in Atlanta has a guy named Dr. Jamal Bryant leading them, so-called preacher. Says he wants 100,000 people to sign a petition and not shop at Target. First, I didn't know they had any Targets down in the hood, but whatever. The Minneapolis-based retailer Target announced last month it would be ending the DEI program. All right. So speaking on Sunday, Bryant, the Reverend, joined the calls by activists for a boycott, told his congregation that Target spit in the face of black people with that decision. They are trying to kiss the ring of the president who thinks he is king, Bryant said from the pulpit. He pointed out millions of dollars that black consumers spend every month at Target. We are going to break the spirit of white settlement. We are going to break the spirit of racism and sexism by using more racism, because that's the way it always works. You cure racism with more racism. He called the congregation to spend 40 days of Lent, which begins March 5th, in a boycott of Target. I maybe should look into how many local businesses that would benefit from that boycott that the good Reverend Jamal Bryant may have his fingers in. I'm just saying, just maybe look into it. I'm not saying he does, just maybe. Ames points this out. Most of us did not start talking about politics because we wanted to. We simply wanted to be left alone, but they decided to blank on our morals and tear our country apart. They activated us, and now we're here for it. That's true. Also, Vladimir Putin, the leader of Russia, the president, says European elites will soon stand at the masters, President Trump's feet, and gently wag their tails. Starting to like this guy more and more. Not completely. And once again, we mentioned yesterday the Rolling Stones won the Grammy for Best Rock Album. Do you know who they beat out? Did you see the list?
No, I didn't. Who did they beat out?
Hackney Diamonds beat out Jack White, Pearl Jam, Idols, and Fontaine's DC. I've heard of two of those.
I've heard of Jack White and Pearl Jam.
Yeah, me too. The other two I have no idea. But the Rolling Stones in their 80s. By the way, they're saying that they're not going to do, they were planning a European tour, and they seemed to have backed off that. And I said from the last one, I said that last tour was going to be the last one because I think Mick was having too much fun and he was doing things going.
Yeah, that's where we put, like, he would just go out to a local bar and have a beer.
I think he knew that was it. I think they all knew that was it. Now that Charlie's gone, and they did one more without Charlie, and that's it. And Steve Jordan's a great drummer, too, by the way. And Charlie picked him to be a successor. I'm Pete Davis. That's Flounder. Thanks for joining us today. We'll probably be back tomorrow. The Kimmer, hopefully back Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe Monday. He's got the flu. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.